Yeah.
Oh, it's got a little pause menu. It's a different kind of thing. Okay, good to know.
Sweet begun.
Think so.
Become
Greetings,
fucked.
gremlins.
All right. Who remembers last week and wants to recap it?
Ooh.
Anybody? Everybody?
Where did we
Is that
start?
here?
I will always ask, where did we start? Because I remember
Necromancer.
things.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Was I here?
Yeah,
Yes and no?
Yeah.
I think you were here.
Conrad was here the entire time.
Was he
Was I?
the whole time?
Yeah, because I'm the one that runs a sheet if he's not, and I wasn't running a sheet.
Hmm.
You're right, yeah.
So,
Okay. In that case, I'm not going to be the one to recap this week.
All right. So, end of the session before, start of last session, we had two individuals kind of like trudging their poor butts into the encampment. The Tabaxi Ranger and the Werebear kind of come shambling in. Names, hold on, where are my names for them? Ranulfer and Moss. And basically go, yo, necromancers, fuck. They're kind of quickly brought in. Moss is healed and cured up, while Ranulfer only has like some scratches to him. The party then goes, hey, we're the main adventuring party here. We're up for some adventure. And we proceed to basically go kind of tracking as Ranulfer leads us to the last known location. We get there, we find some like tracks, like things were moved and dragged and without much concern. Come to end, kind of came to the thought that yeah, maybe Ogre wasn't fully dead when it hit the ground.
There was the lady.
We're getting there. Eventually through tracking, both like I guess analog and magical, we're able to eventually kind of follow their path down the river, and to a kind of a side of a large hill mountain, cliffside, raised land, with a small kind of indent in it where we saw the lady and a humanoid shape and two ogres. And then combat happened because Alsana rolled terrible on herself.
Yep.
So the fight went off. We proceeded to melt the ogres. Dealt with the apparently single zombie without even like looking at it. I think he just stumbled into the moonbeam and died.
No, didn't she kill her own zombie?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
blew
Oh
him up.
yes, and then she did the negative energy.
yes. She was
Which
aiming
is
at all
still
of you,
hilarious.
but he was in the way.
Yep.
She frankly didn't care that much about
Circle
it.
of Death, rather, not negative energy. Because that would have healed them. But yes. And yes, she dropped off a death nuke, which I was happy because I got to use Alsans's new necrotic resistance. We proceed to kind of like slowly zone in on a position. Calder gets right up in her business.
Hello.
Proceeds to puny god her.
And
Yeah.
that lantern of revealing versus a potion of invisibility.
Yep, and she goes,
Which
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Calda.
Drink, drink.
Mhm.
I'm invisible. What do you mean I'm not invisible?
And then Calda did what Calda does, and critical hit smoked the shit out of her.
I don't think she crit. I think she just smite. Did she?
I did crit.
You did crit?
I think I crit.
It was
Um,
big
Crit, yeah.
damage, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
well-
first time, and then the second hit took her out.
Okay, no, that's what you didn't finish on a crit. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But then she hit the ground. And after some interrogation of the corpse, we eventually got her to basically admit that, hey, yeah, the other body we found here was a guy who was hopelessly like hitting on her and being annoying, and she's clearly an evil bitch, so she killed him and zombied him, and turned out to be our quarry we were sent to be looking for by Tiernan Wyatt. Poor bastard.
Yep.
And I think we just kind of did some cleanup there and then came back to town. And then, oh, also, and then Asana kind of got the okay go ahead by Tiernan. And he kind of lets go. It's like, hey, anyone want to make a warlock contract? I'm in the
Yeah.
business. You need an Eldritch Blast? I'm your man.
Kane was horribly tempted for a very short amount of time.
Yep.
You guys know where the portal is.
Emphasis on horribly.
You've got a month.
Yep.
Kane is terribly tempted.
That's
Because
fair.
only because internal of me being like, oh man, imagine if I got some blade luck on this shit.
But
I realize I don't want to do that. But man.
Oh yeah.
But
It's up
at a
to you.
point we returned, contract fulfilled, and also Alsana asked Tiernan a bit about that copy, who is apparently now on the material, but she has yet to tell anyone that she knows this.
Yep.
And I think we ended off with like Kane walking into Calder and Alsana's room,
That I recall, I think.
well, like knocking on the tent door.
Whap, 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 whap.
Hold on, I have a curtain right here.
4 out of 10.
Sound effects.
Gives it about a 4 out of 10. Yeah.
I went to go do a sound effect today, but I tried to do like a Matthew Mercer side effect. I just sound effect, and then I just choked.
Oh no.
Like I tried to do
Yeah.
one of his creepy ass walking sounds, and I just went like, ah.
Yeah, those cannot be done by mere mortals.
Yeah, he made one the other day, man, and I had to hand it to the person sitting next to me and ask them if they also heard what I just heard.
Matthew Mercer and that whole cast, they've got something else living in their lungs, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun D&D concept. Anyways,
Oh, frog in your throat?
ooh, okay, I want to play World. Okay,
Are
never
we
mind.
starting?
Yes. So, we're picking up. It is getting a little bit late. You fought the necromancer at just a little after sunset, and by the time you traveled back to camp and pitched your tent, settled in, it is getting very late at night. You're not quite at midnight, but you're probably somewhere around that 10 or 11 p.m., especially as the days are getting longer as you rapidly approach summer solstice, so sunset is later in the day. But
Okay.
before everybody's gone to sleep, Kane, you have gone to Calda and Alsana's tent. Calda, Kane has rapped on the tent and seems to
Anna's
be
in the
asking
corner
for you.
in a cocoon.
Cald's gonna just be like, okay, give me a minute and just stretch, get up and leave the tent. Hey, everything alright?
Oh yeah, just hoping you got a moment that I can steal you for a bit.
An eye opens up from the covers like the DVD front of a horror movie.
I have a lot of minutes, it's alright. Do you wanna go take a walk?
Sure thing. Asana, can I respectfully request that you don't follow in and eavesdrop on us this time?
And kind of like unravels a bit and it's like, fine, but I've got to talk to you as well, and if you'd like to do that maybe quickly before you go for a walk, that's up to you.
Talking to me or talk to Calda?
You.
Hold on. Pull out a gold piece and I'll flip it.
No, Kane, take the time. I'll meet you by that tree. And Calda points to a tree that she can like barely see in the darkness.
Of a note, thanks to the lamp vines quickly grown, there is a little bit of illumination in the encampment. Not a lot, it's not as bright as, say, street lights, but you can pretty easily pick out a tree nearby that the lamp vine has been grown up around.
It's like
and
those
it's
movie
very
theater
softly
strips.
glowing.
Calda points to the tree that she can vaguely see in the darkness and go over to it.
I have background noise, one sec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I wish people would stop getting arrested around me. Anyways,
Mm.
yeah, so Kane will actually just step into the tent rather than drag Asana out.
She kind of like just sits up on the bed or cot or whatever she's on and just
He just kind of looks at her, it's like, Alright, you know what I'm gonna go talk to her about.
Okay, how are
I'm
you?
not gonna accuse her of anything, I'm just gonna try to figure things out
First of all, how are you gonna phrase it?
carefully. Just if she's the one we left threshold with.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes.
And she only raised an eyebrow. You sure you can pick up on if she's lying?
Not particularly concerned with that. I mean, I'll try, but I trust her enough
If
that.
you're not concerned about that, what's the point of this?
I believe that whichever cult we're speaking to will be made obvious very soon after I ask the question. And if not, I'm sure you'll find out afterwards. But I'd like to try my method first.
Personally, I think you're throwing out the best chance we have to find out if she is lying. But
I think you're starting from a point of accusation rather than a point of innocence.
she blinks. I'm starting from a point of worry.
Yes, I'm starting from a place of trust. That's why I'd like to start first.
She hasn't said anything about it up until now. And if she
Neither
doesn't know
have we to her.
anything, then great.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll interrogate her after, but I just want to try my way first.
Second of all, she's not the only one of herself on this plane now.
Okay.
I talked to Tiernan. Apparently he simply batted the one away that was rather displeased with him.
Okay. In that case, I will inform her. Because if the other one is the real Calda, I'm sure she'll be hounding this one. Make her more likely to tell the truth.
Are you sure about that?
Rather ask and find out than let myself be paranoid and not trust my friends.
I'm just gonna blink and goes. Are you sure I can't eavesdrop?
I'd rather you didn't. If it helps, I'll answer any questions honestly afterwards.
It's not that I don't trust you, to be honest with me.
You don't trust me, but that's fine. We can move past that. I'd rather you not eavesdrop. Again, I'd like to have a speed discussion between me and Calda. Let it remain that way. If I do have concerns, I'll bring it up to you. Don't worry. I'm not foolish enough to think that I can see through a number of falsities like you can.
But you're going to do it first, so, whatever you want. Go, have fun.
You don't have some magic bug you want to stick on my shoulder so you can listen in?
I can be that magic bug if I damn well please. But you seem intent on doing whatever the hell you're planning on doing right now. So go do it.
That's one way to. If you do end up being a bug, though, please don't pick a mosquito. I fucking hate those things. I might swat you by accident. That would just be very awkward for everyone.
That could be something that happens.
You think I'd even try to... Ugh, no, you're disgusting in all manners.
Yikes.
Oh, that's enough from the peanut gallery she wraps on the side of the tent to Alaris in the other tent.
Sorry. Couldn't help it.
I kind of just smiles and just, don't worry. If she stabs me and kills me in the forest, at least,
I'll laugh at you like the fool you are.
exactly. And question my corpse, you'll be able to get a lot of embarrassing secrets out of me.
Ah,
You saw before, you're not obligated to answer.
Yeah, but at that point, what do I care?
No, I'll just bring your corpse back for a bit to laugh at you.
Oh, I was gonna laugh at me if it's my corpse, though.
For me to laugh at you.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Maybe you'll be more coherent in death. One way to find out. She gestures towards the exit.
It's a good way to loosen the tongue, and he'll step out. Kind of saunter over to Calda.
Calda's like sitting against the tree trunk at this point and just pats the spot beside her and just goes, "Take a seat." Oh, good. Everything all right? Nothing turned into an argument.
yeah.
Not a loud one, at least.
Peanut gallery, you're not here.
I'm not here. No, I'm not. I don't know.
Alaris has eyes of the eagle, not ears of the
Yeah, I don't.
eagle. The eagle's here, well? Ears of the owl.
He's alright with
Either
me.
way. Yeah, but there was just no arguing. I want to say impressed. Doing well.
I mean, you asked me to put a bit more of an active effort into it, so.
I appreciate the help. So, what did you want to talk about?
Well, do you want the fun question or the sad question first?
You can lead with whichever one you want, but Let's get the sad one out of the way.
What do you know about the other call that we saw?
To be frank, nothing. I genuinely just thought I didn't have any recollection, which just made me feel guilty, and then she started saying my hair was up. I haven't worn my hair up since before I got married. And plate armor. Shit's heavy.
He kind of gestures at his own and nods.
When I saw her face, I didn't know what to think, and I just thought, oh shit, and really glad I'm getting out of there to keep Rose safe. If it was up to me, I honestly just would have stayed there to kill her. No one tries to hunt family.
You may get the chance. Apparently there's a good chance she's on this plane of existence.
Excuse me, what?
According to Asana.
Kane, this isn't good.
You understand why we're being cautious, right?
I have to get Rose back home. I can't.
We will do our best to do so. But I'm asking this with trust, Osana. Calda. Are you the same Calda that we left Threshold with?
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? And Calda sort of like just gestures to all the stuff she had been wearing the entire adventure.
She's like, Calda, we just found out that a doppelganger version of you is in another plane of existence talking to your daughter that you didn't know where she was for the past few years, and that you were convinced that it was your own memories that you had lost, as well as, and when it turned out to be entirely other existence, and then didn't mention anything when we left the plane of existence that we saw them.
That's fair. It is me. I just have never dealt with this situation to convince someone that I am who I am.
My concern
I
isn't
suppose.
I'm not concerned if you're the original Calda. As long as you're the Calda we left Threshold with, you're the Calda that I trust. My concern is for Rose.
Rose is safe. I am the Calda you left Threshold with, and I am here to protect Rose right now. Until she gets home to the rest of the family and we can continue this until I can go back home to her as well. And the rest of my husband and my other 2 children.
When she goes back there, other than just paternal love, who's there to protect her?
My husband used to adventure with me. He's pretty strong himself, but not as strong as I've been for a bit.
Would you not be safer? Would you not be safer with these folks here?
I need to speak to my husband about that first, and there may be a decision of that conversation happening in Ambarion, and us traveling back here instead with her. I can't make this decision on my own. This isn't a one-parent decision, Kane.
I'm aware, but how about until you can be there, present, instead of bringing her to Threshold?
Ambarion's on the way to Threshold.
True. But if she stays at Threshold at the request of you, one of the chosen adventurers of the members of Threshold, I'm sure the Scaly siblings will be better protection than anyone else could provide.
I don't trust it with the other one who looks like me around, and if that person ends up going to Threshold claiming to be me, then I don't know what I'd do with myself. They don't know me best. My family knows me best.
Then how about this? Unless you come by with one of us, no Calda sees Rose. You are not.
How do we know if there's one that looks exactly like me? There aren't ones that look exactly like you.
In that case, how about if there's any Alsana? Because I don't care how much someone looks like Alsana, no one will be able to act like her, especially not with that paladin watching.
Or that Alsana will have to talk to Tokeni, and if Tokeni's not annoyed within 5 minutes, it's not Alsana.
Precisely. And in case they try to mess with the rest of your family, I think the rest of your family would be safer there as well.
We can't just pick up and move, Kane. They can't just pick up and move.
Why not?
We have a business. We have the rest of the family. There are so many of us. And we can't just leave what we've always known behind. Even for a little bit, it's expensive. It's very expensive, Kane.
Tell me, how much money have you made in the past few months relative to how much you hope to make in a year?
Made a few hundred gold in the past. No, not even more. To 500 gold in the past few months, which is, oh my god, that's a lot of money.
Call it a family vacation. Something for them to learn, to see if any of them want to learn a trade of combat, or if any of them want to work as members of Threshold. It's a good calling, it's a good pay. Plus, everyone will be safe while you're adventuring. I realize that you're not like me. You can't just walk away from your family. You can't just not care how they are. But safety's more important than comfort, and I think you know that too.
And it seems like I have a few more letters to write than I was expecting.
I can magically summon paper out of my pocket, so if you need some help.
I have books worth of paper, and Calder sort of just sifts through a pocket and takes out a few crumpled pieces. These are old drafts.
Just keep it in mind. I know it's not just your choice, but consider it.
It's appreciated. You really care. You're a very good brother, Kane. Not even just to Alsana, but to even my child. And you're a very good brother and a very good son.
Kane.exe has stopped computing for a moment. Can I just shake his head like, this is standard wartime tactics.
No, I don't think you playing games with my daughter acting like a big older brother is wartime tactics, Kane.
Gotta keep troop morale up.
Are you calling my daughter a troop?
Well, she's definitely a trooper, and if she's anything like her mother, she's pretty tough.
Kane,
Yes?
just accept it. You're a very good brother. You're a very good person. And anyone would be proud to have you as their son.
Kane.exe has really stopped working now. Kind of just... If you can convince... Well, if I can convince Alsana of that, maybe I'll believe you.
You don't need her approval to believe any of that. You don't need anyone's approval, it's just your own. I know it may have been hard because I was told she did a lot of the things around the house when you were growing up, but you don't need anyone's approval to be loved, Kane, or to be shown pride.
It's not about approval. It's a mark of quality. You know how when you test a blade or you test a piece of armor, it has to be against something equally as strong. That's what you're seeking to defend against. If I want to be considered a good sibling, I think it has to be relative to Alsana's measure, not my own personal, because my standards are not particularly high.
Well, if that's what you think, that's alright, dear. But just know that you don't need her to think that you're a good brother to be a good brother.
We'll see how it goes. I'm glad I at least convinced you and Rose, though. You two were fun.
It's appreciated. Just always excited for everyone to visit in the future after all of this is done. It makes it feel a bit more close.
If she ever wants to learn, well, I hear druidic magic on a ship is rather useful to have. If she ever wants to explore the world, or at least the country, I'll see what I can do.
Well, you can ask her that question in a few years. How about that?
Oh, come on, keeping a young, sparky one like that around would be great for everyone. She'd learn a lot very quickly, too.
That's
And
fair, but she's 13 and I'm a mama bear.
You may be a mama bear, but I'm a grizzly bear, and no one is touching her.
Yeah, she's got some good people protecting her. Her older brother and her mom.
And hopefully some ancient dragons as well.
Yeah. I'll take it into account.
Just something.
It is something to think about. You're right.
And whether or not you are the OG Calda, as long as you're the same one from Threshold, I appreciate you being around.
I appreciate you being around too, Kane.
Now that being said, I have to go report back to Alsana because in exchange for her not eavesdropping, I have to keep her updated.
Well, you go to report back to Alsana. I'm going to report back to bed.
Alright, in that case, you'll be hearing me report back. I don't think Alsana's leaving that cocoon.
Just then, you guys hear the sharp, sudden, loud crack of a branch.
Fucking
in
do it.
silence in the dark.
Yep, sort out.
And just beyond the faint light, you see standing stock still, holding a blanket in both arms, dressed in what looks like a borrowed nightshirt, but it's so long it falls down to her feet in the grass. You see Rose
Ah, damn it.
looking back.
Wrong sister.
Rose, dear. Oh, God, I put their sword away so quickly. What are you doing awake, dear?
It's. I just wanted to know if I could sleep in the tent with you.
Oh, of course. Come on. And Gold just wraps her arms around her and just does that walk where you're holding someone who's not much smaller than you and you're moving her legs.
Wait, hold on, Calda. Can I ask her a question first?
Yeah, you should ask her, but yeah.
He's gonna crouch down in front of Rose with a very serious face.
Yeah?
Do you like boats?
I remember watching them in the docks.
Hold on. You've never been in a boat before.
I mean, not really.
From Kane's knowledge, how close is the nearest river and or body of small water?
The green water, the Green River actually runs through this forest, and it's not too far from this camp currently.
Is it enough to make a dinghy on?
Yeah, it is a river. It's not just a little stream or tributary. Basically, you could find the nearest stream, follow it upstream, and you would hit the banks of the river probably within a couple of miles. 2, 3, maybe 4, depending on exactly where you are in relation to certain bends.
Okay. With your mother's permission, Mr. Kane is going to take you on a small boat so you can experience it, because no proper adult can have never been on a boat before.
She looks up at you, Calda.
That's alright, but you don't have to call him Mr. Kane. His name's just Kane.
Yes, but Mr. Kane likes having a Mr. in front of his name. Makes me sound very official.
Okay, Mom?
Yes?
Is it okay if I go on the boat?
Of course it is. I trust Kane a lot.
Okay. She reaches her arms up and gives you kind of this backwards hug, a little bit awkward, but she's trying while staying turned around so that she can stand on your feet and walk Okay.
Just lifts her up a bit.
Thank you, Mr. Kane.
Kind of nods. Says, "All right, now I'm gonna go be interrogated by my sister. I'll be back shortly."
We're going in the same direction.
Are you sure you don't want to let me go in first, Calder?
Yeah, going first. I'll sit with Rose for a bit. Come on, dear.
Okay.
Oh.
And as Kane walks away, you hear Rose ask Calder, "What were you guys talking about?"
Just some bit more adulty stuff, like Pops and I used to talk about, but do you want to learn here for a bit?
Maybe. Um, I don't know for sure yet, but Nevi is nice. And they
Nevi.
taught me a lot. Just in a few hours. Do you like my lanterns?
I love them. We can see so well here now. I didn't run into a tree.
They're pretty.
They're very pretty. Okay.
She leans her head against your shoulder. And slowly, eventually, as Kane is talking to Alsana, she starts to lean a little bit heavier, and you know she's drifted off.
I was like just gonna pick her up while still waiting for Kane.
Yep. So, Kane, you've gone back to Alsana. Alsana?
Kane is stepping into the tent without waiting for her to know if he's there or not, just to see if she's still in the cocoon.
She is, but
Okay.
she's still like slumped in the corner.
He kind of looks in like, all right, do you need me to break it down or did you listen?
Go ahead and tell me what you thought you heard.
No, it's not about what I thought you heard, like I said. Leaving that to you. According to her, it at least makes sense to me that it's the same cult we left Threshold with. As for original, I don't have the intelligence to judge that. But I suggested that she bring her family along with Rose to Threshold, such that basically the two powerful ones there can at least be protective in case something does happen. And a vague agreement that no version of Calda and or anyone else gets to see them unless you are there, basically. Because A, I figure no one can copy your personality to a T, especially not such that the Silver One can judge. And B, I figured you'd want to be able to be there to make your own judgment. But obviously they have to discuss it with their husbands.
Did you question anything Golda said?
I made her
Or
aware of
did
her
you-
position.
Did you just take her word at face value?
I did my own logic. I'm not going to try to assume whether or not she's lying. I don't have the skill for that. But
So you took everything she said as if she was saying the truth.
I conversed as such. I'm not saying I believe her and everything, but I believe at least she doesn't mean any harm to Rose. And for now, it's enough for me.
She tilts her head. Is it enough for you? Truly?
For now, yes. In the long term, no. But to be blunt, Rose or not, we need to get these shrines done. Apparently, there's so much more at stake for it if those in Threshold to be believed. So, we do our best with this.
We have
Take the time we can, but we can't let it distract us too much.
I didn't think you of any person would be talking to me about this. I'm well aware of our schedule, and I've been making sure we've kept up on it.
Yes. But I'm informing you as to where my choice came from. If you have criticisms of it, go ahead.
I just like to pose the idea that even if this one or the other one or whatever, let's say there's a Calda who truly and dearly loves Rose with all her heart and would never do her any harm. That's fine, that's all good. But what about the other one who feels the exact same way? Do they just share?
That is for people wiser than me and more powerful than me to figure out.
Would do you some well to have some thought about it at all. If you can even form some in that head of yours.
Don't mistake lack of judgment for not thinking, dear.
Inaction is the worst kind of action.
I'm not being inactive. I'm not making a decision that could ruin another child's life based on my own lack of knowledge.
You can at least have an
I
opinion.
figure since we have contact with powerful dragons, powerful spellcasters, let them make those choices as they probably have the experience that neither of us have. I do have my opinions. My actions are more important, and I'm acting on what I know for sure. Any questions?
What do we do until then? I'm fine with
Keep-
going and referring to Threshold and having their opinion on the situation. I'm sure Claddy would have some very strong insights into this. But we can't do that right away.
But until then, Rose is here. In a place that, relative to being on her own or back in Umbarian, she is protected. She can learn. And I'm sure you plan to go somewhere during the time. I'm sure Calder plans to write some letters and go somewhere during the time. I'm sure we need time to contact everyone we need to. Once we have that, I think that's when we make a choice.
I'll talk to Calder myself.
Sure you will. And I wish you well with the skills that you have that I do not.
Are you done?
You asked me to report back.
I mean, this whole ordeal, this whole thing you're trying to do with her.
At least for tonight. I think we've earned a good sleep.
Alright. Then go.
Very well. Oh, and I think Rose might be sleeping in here tonight. See, steps out.
She doesn't need a frickin' nightlight.
Devin, when you talk, you're talking just a bit quiet sometimes.
You are a little bit inaudible. Occasionally, your voice does peak up in volume, and that's a little better, but
Alright, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll move
Okay.
the mic slightly closer.
yeah, it's a thing to keep in mind with Alsana. Alsana, you pitch just a little quieter than usual, so
Yep.
I think that you just forget.
Mhm.
It's simple to do, so yep. All right, Kane, you head back to the tent you share with Elaris. Elaris, you could be asleep by now if you'd like. It's been a few minutes.
Even if so, Kane will shake
Yeah.
him awake.
Okay.
So,
Kind of just looks at it, it's like, alright. What are your thoughts on the situation so far with Calder?
the whole clone thing?
The fact there's two of her, apparently.
I don't know. It seems. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to have another version of you running around saying things you wouldn't say or doing things you wouldn't do. So, generally, a bad idea to not at least have your eye on it, right?
Alright. Now, how do I know you're the real Alaris?
Because
What's
I'm
my
the one who
favorite
left
meal that you've
Threshold
cooked me?
The grilled cheese with bacon.
Fuck, you are the real one. Okay.
You say that with such disappointment almost.
It's like fuck, not two clones at once. Damn it!
Hey, I'm ready for a tussle, man.
Unless you're the clone.
Da, da, da. Look, all I know is
Just
Kane
started
is not-
beating on Alaris for no reason. Just
Look,
like
all-
you're the clone. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Kane doesn't like issues he can't punch, okay? Alaris is an
course
issue he
not.
can punch.
That sucks for Alaris.
Yes. He goes, alright, by the way, in the morning, I need a favor.
Okay, what is it?
Show me how to be more accurate with an archery contest. I have to kick a teenager's ass.
What? What have you gotten yourself into, Kane?
I'll make you breakfast.
Deal.
Thank you. Good night. He just like jumps into his sleeping bag and passes out.
Alright. And Alaris falls back asleep.
Cold's gonna come back into the tent just holding Rose. Sorry, she passed out. Sorry, Alsana.
It's okay, don't worry. She is asleep.
Yeah, she asked to stay, and then we were waiting a little bit, and she just conked out.
Well, you're either smart or lucky.
Why?
Because I can't rake you over the coals with her here.
Pardon me.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna have a talk about this at some point. The fact that there hasn't been one yet is one that brings me concern.
So I'm gonna convince you to. Got it.
No, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm not gonna be like Cain where I take your first word as truth.
Good night, Alsana.
Good night, Calda.
As you guys settle down to sleep, Tuck Rose in next to you, Calda. There is a moment where there's a sudden and small burst of shuffling noise and movement in a shadow in the tent. But it quickly proves to just be Biscuit, flipping in. He kind of curls himself up in the little bit of space remaining between everybody. Shoves
I
his
love
nose
this
under a
dog.
blanket, thumps his tail a couple of times, and takes a deep sigh and goes to sleep himself. With that, everybody goes to sleep. Elaris. Are you there,
Yes.
John?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
Just want to make sure. Elaris, you dream, and it's the usual dreamscape, the endless, misty, empty plain that you've become used to. You are sitting at what seems to be a flat, roughly shaped stone table. You're seated on basically a flattened, worked boulder at the side instead of a chair.
Hmm.
And sitting across the table from you is Xanthus. He doesn't say a word, just sets his hand down on the table. You hear a click, and you see that his hand is palm down, curved over something. He lifts his fingers, revealing the small black orb of material you had picked up in the Green River Shrine location. And with a little flick of his fingers, he sends it rolling and bouncing across the uneven surface of the stone towards you.
So it rolls towards me.
It rolls towards you. If you don't stop it, it rolls off into your lap.
Okay, I'll grab it as it reaches the edge of the table.
You see Xanthus fold his fingers together, rest them on his side of the table, and just wait, watching, unspeaking. There is no further shift in his bearing, his demeanor, his body language. He just stares.
Try to focus on the bead.
Okay. It's large enough to fit comfortably in the palm of your hand. About roughly the size of a tennis ball, maybe a little bit bigger. If you take the real world connection, because I cannot show you with a gesture how big it is. As I
Yeah.
sit here holding my hand out.
For no one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the eternal DM mood. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all done it.
Got a fish about this long.
Yep.
Shit.
The box is about Nope, that's not working.
So much by so
Elaris.
much.
Canada is weird enough that you can use inches, and we do get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, there's like coming up with the inches on the fly and accurately guesstimating them.
Anyways.
Elaris, you focus on the orb. Go ahead and make a quick charisma check.
Check.
Yes,
Okay.
charisma
I was like-
check.
I was.
All right, 18. You focus so hard, almost pushing your will onto it the way that you've learned to push your will into the weave of magic and create the effect that you would expect, that you want.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're just on the edge of grasping something about this. You feel your fingers The more you stare, your fingers start to sink slightly into the material, but then it stops and there's no more give to it, and you relax your fingers and it returns to its previous smooth shape. When you grasp again, there is no further give.
Yeah.
You see Xanthus kind of tilt his head, the mask turning ever so slightly. And he says, "Not quite,
Not
but
quite.
the attempt at least is a start." With
Okay.
that, the dream fades away. You wake up the next morning with the sunrise just coloring the edge, the outside wall of the tent, just pouring through the
Yeah.
thick canvas, just starting to glow.
Yeah.
And you wake up and the orb is sitting in your hand, cupped loosely at the edge of your bedroll. Everybody else, you wake up, you've had a long rest. For the purposes of any hit points or resources lost in the battle the previous night and the conflicts during the day before then.
Everything's back. Yay.
Hey.
All right. You wake up, you rise. Rose sleeps in a little longer with Biscuit next to her. The Biscuit does pick up his head when either of you might stir in the tent.
Anna
an
gives
eye
a
on you.
little, like, on the head.
He thumps his tail at you. Thumps his tail at Calda. Curls back around Rose. In the night, she's kind of turned towards him and has her hand kind of worked into his fur at the ruff. But you wake up, you get ready, you get breakfast. Rose does eventually wake up and come out as well. And what would you like to do with the day?
I go to meet Kane for breakfast.
Yes, hello. Kane is making breakfast.
Yeah.
He's okay. Who's awake when Kane gets up first thing in the morning?
Alsana is crack at the dawn because light and tent.
Yes, but is she out of the tent?
She's getting up.
Okay. Kind of turns her. It's like, how against helping me collect breakfast ingredients are you?
She kind of blinks.
What's
Me
vaguely
collect-
animal?
Vaguely edible?
Animal.
Animal.
There should be some stocks in the camp here. I'm sure they'd be willing to share some.
True, but I don't know. Hoping for some fresh eggs.
Fresh eggs. Alright, good luck with that. And she's like doing her braids with one, her beads with one hand, brushing her teeth
Right.
with the other.
In that case, Kane will kind of look for the gremlin of teenager, who I'm sure is not awake at this point in the morning, but he will wake up if you can't find him.
Oh, you fucking bastard.
Roll, let's say, and
Change your fucking alignment to chaotic evil. Jesus Christ.
investigation check to see if you can track down, figure out. You don't see him, and after wrapping on the first tent and getting a grumbling little old gnome, middle-aged gnome lady, getting up
Look
and
here,
pushing
Sonny.
what is it?
Trying to find the moody teenager. Not Alsana, the other one.
She peers at you.
Huh.
Oh, you were the one I was gonna give a test potion to. Hold on,
Yes.
stay right there. I'm gonna go and get it. She ducks back into the tent.
Do I have to drink it right away, or can I wait till after breakfast?
Right away, I need to observe the results and write them down.
I need to collect breakfast. Find me after.
No, it's better on an empty stomach. Trust me, stay.
I need to make breakfast. I don't have to eat it right away.
Well, then you'll have a moment. Stay here. She, you hear rustling, another thump, and slight
then.
under the breath curse, and then
What do I
far-
roll for patience?
back out. Doesn't take long.
How far
I'll do
away
the
is
human
this?
seatbelt
Not like
thing.
time patience. What do I roll for patience?
I'll do the human seatbelt thing of
Wisdom.
just putting my arm out in front of him, just let it. Okay.
You're not there, are you?
Am
Did
I?
you go along?
I thought I did.
Okay, specify
doing?
that. So
You're
Alaris
not
is
making it clear
tagging
that you are.
along.
Sorry, I thought I did.
Yeah, that's all right.
Um,
Takes a deep breath. It's like, Alaris, I know I'm cooking breakfast, but just in case I die drinking this potion, can you please go find some eggs for me?
Sure.
Also, if I die drinking this potion, Alsana has full permission to make me talk, but I want someone else to try to attempt to bring me back to life first.
Okay. Sounds good.
How far are
Sounds
they
like a
from the
plan.
place where the party's camps are?
I'd say there's a possibility of being an eye shot, but maybe not earshot.
I'm just curious if Alsana could at a point glance over and go, "Oh God, they're at that house or that camp." Tent.
Roll a quick perception check just for the chance of glancing over.
25.
You glance over and you recognize those strings of herbs set
Oh,
out to dry outside that tent.
just gonna hop into owl form and just float on over to a nearby roof.
Oh, we're gonna see an owl
Right.
first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Strange.
guys may or may not notice
Jet
if you're
black
being
owl.
stealthy. If you're being in any way stealthy, roll stealth. If
What's
you
a-
are not,
What's an owl's dex?
then,
I
Attack.
can see you.
Ty, are you on Maury's sheet?
Oh, what? Sorry. Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
I
a
s-
Maury
I
stealth
see,
because that would be Alsana's right now. Yeah, Elaris, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see, unless that stealth somehow is a
Shadow
24
owl.
or more.
Okay, same as perception, so I'll just roll. Fuck.
I see.
Damn it.
Alright,
Eyes.
Kane, you do not notice the Alsan owl. Alsana?
Oh, you can do better than that,
Alsana.
Ariel.
Owlsana. Yes, I could have
Alsana-
done better. I did forget that. Elaris, you happen to glance around as the gnome lady is coming back out of the tent with a bottle in hand, and you see the jet black owl with bright. Would they be yellow eyes?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Big
She
bright
has the
yellow
gold
eyes,
accents.
perched very nearby, and looking directly and intensely at Kane.
The owl shifts his head over slightly to
Sorry, would you like a
Alaris and
snack?
makes eye contact and just blinks.
I wave.
In the meantime, Kane,
Yes.
a small round bottle is pressed into your hand. It's topped with a cork sealed with a little bit of wax.
He's gonna look at it before even opening it. It's like, what is this supposed to do? What do you think it'll do?
Well, that's just it. I combined a couple of ingredients that don't usually go together. I'm pretty sure it'll do something. There is magic. Magic did take hold, but unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what the
Okay.
actual effects are going to be.
While I accept this, I'm only drinking this on one condition.
And what would that be?
In exchange for me drinking this wildly unreasonable potion to drink, I cook one thing for you, and no matter what it is, you eat it. If you're willing to accept that, I will drink this.
Yeah, no, Alaris is like, oh dear,
She's
no.
eyeballing you. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
He doesn't want her to agree.
I suppose.
Also roll persuasion, but he's trying to make her not want to do this. Is that more intimidation?
Oh, hell.
Sure. If you're trying to imply that she doesn't want to do that, go ahead and do
Yes.
intimidation. 22.
I'm an orc, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She stops.
I was gonna help
she
you with
looks-
that too.
Can you cook?
Yes.
Is there a degree of quality required for that? I can make food edible.
She, hearing Alaris say yes, she fixes her attention on him instead. He can cook. Yes?
Yes.
He can cook good food?
Yeah, I'm giving you big deer in the headlight eyes, Alaris.
I just yes.
Alaris' perception
that's-
allows him to hear an owl giggling.
That seems like a
Yes.
reasonable deal to me. I will join you at your campfire for breakfast this morning and eat what you serve to the others.
No. That's not what you're agreeing to. Whatever I give you, you eat.
Ooh.
Dear friend of
forgot.
his. She's looking at Alaris. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Alaris.
Alaris. Would you be a dear and make sure what he gives me to eat is edible?
Alaris, if you don't want poison in your food, you will not look at the food I make her. I will
Alaris,
remind
I
you.
can
I will
don't
remind
agree
you.
with that.
Young
I
gnome.
know a great deal about poisons and how to cure them.
Oh, in that case, Alaris
You'll
can
be
drink the
safe.
potion. And Alaris will hand the potion to Alaris. Sorry, Kane will hand the potion to Alaris.
Wait, what?
I have a feeling that a tall, strapping lad like yourself would probably be able to handle any possible side effects far better.
Ah. So you're putting this on me, Kane.
I would love to. Unfortunately, she will let me. All right,
Yeah.
you will eat whatever I give
And
you.
I hand the potion back to Kane.
And I just turn to Alaris like,
Drink it.
if I live this, you were giving me so many archery lessons. You need to realize this.
Oh, actually, I just thought of something. You said you were looking for a moody teen. I did miss it a little bit earlier. You were looking for a moody teenager.
Yes,
By
can I
any
drink the
chance,
potion?
are you speaking of Talon?
I believe so. The one who gets a real chip on his shoulder?
Yes. If I tell you where to find him, will you drink that potion? In
Only-
lieu of
only-
the other agreement?
Not in the slightest.
Hmm.
Because you're delaying me from what I needed them from, so it's not really useful anymore. I just wanted to find some eggs for me. I just wanted fresh eggs.
Oh, songbird eggs?
And eggs I can cook with.
Well, technically, you can cook with any egg.
But I wanted to be fresh.
I can tell you where to find some eggs. I can show you where to find some eggs. Would that be an acceptable bargain?
As long as you allow me to find other ingredients, yes. But I will cook your meal with the ingredients you show me, just as a thank you in that case.
Of course. Well, then I believe we have a deal.
Unfortunately, yes. Alaris?
One moment,
Yep.
don't drink it yet. And she dives back into the tent, comes back out with a.
Watch this way, he
piece
just
of
grabs
paper
Alaris
and
by the
a-
collar.
Yeah.
Alaris? I was relying on you for support there, and you really fucked me there.
I didn't know what you were going for.
I realize this now. And he turns back to
You
wait for
you
the
really
tent
should have
open.
made it specific that you didn't want to drink this potion.
It
He
flies
just
back
gives like a
open.
withering look.
She comes back out clutching a somewhat tattered scrap of parchment and a stick of wood with a bit of charcoal at the end. All right, I'm ready.
Does she have a fucking clipboard?
Basically. He just
Yeah,
looks up like eyes.
it's on a plank of wood.
He just looks to the sky with eyes closed, like, Asana, wherever the fuck you are, I hate you. And just he drinks it.
The liquid inside
Uh-oh.
is sort of a off-white near yellow color.
Oh, that's
It has an-
disgusting.
That's
It has
disgusting.
an oily consistency that coats the tongue and the back of the throat
Ugh.
down, and it tastes very strongly of garlic, of all things.
Oh.
It's like drinking garlic flavored like bacon grease and milk.
I would like you. This is a little bit odd. It's not a normal die. I need you to roll a d60.
What
in
the
the chat.
fuck?
On this,
I love it.
on,
What the
in
fuck?
this instance, the owl flies down and kind of behind Alba.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh,
I love it.
okay. Um.
Oh no! I
As
don't
you
like that
down it-
sound.
As you down it, at first it's just the oil and the garlic, and then almost coming on a reverse trip up the throat onto the tongue. Nothing comes
Alright,
up,
This is
but-
the worst thing you've ever described. I need you to realize this.
I
but
hate
you
it.
feel a wave of spicy heat.
If I get one of the fucking fire breathing potions, I'm gonna be so salty.
And it brings tears to your eyes. Go ahead and roll a quick constitution save just to see how well you can like hold it in and hold it back. No,
Yikes.
you start
No,
crying.
no,
Yikes!
fuck
Oh
this.
dear lord!
No,
Okay.
fuck
Oh
this,
dear
Indomitable.
lord.
Indomitable, by all means.
He
Yeah.
is the
Got anything else?
Eric, for listening, he just rolled
Can this-
two
can this
ones in
count?
a row with Indomitable.
Can this count? Can Orcish Fury do anything here?
Oh my god! You
I don't think- I don't-
You're not Isidorus. Nope.
I don't
You are
think-
just very, very angry as you start to cry, like tears are
Damn
streaming.
right I am.
I don't think you're on
Well,
Orcish Fury. I think you're on either Orcish Bargaining or Orcish Acceptance.
No, there is no acceptance here.
Your orcish face is furiously red right now.
Christ. By the way, Devin, I'm fully convinced you would still drink this, just letting you know. Moving on.
Gross.
On that note, as this is happening, Alsana, like the owl flies in behind Alba. Alsana appears behind her and hugs her.
There's a
Hi,
little bit of jump.
Elsa.
She looks up. Oh,
You got her.
here.
You got him to drink it. You got him to drink it. Oh my goodness, I was watching the whole
I
thing.
knew it was you.
Yes. I'm not quite sure how to interpret these symptoms. Can you
Pain.
describe what you're? Oh, okay. Where
Pain.
does it hurt?
Have you ever tried to gargle with jalapenos?
No. What are
Yes.
jalapenos?
Oh my god. I'm cooking your dinner.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm cooking your dinner and you are
fun.
swallowing this.
Alzana is looking at the clipboard. What did she put into this?
She's just made a note. Very red face, tears, steam out the nose? Question mark. There is a
That's
very faint. Yeah, there's a very faint smoke.
There's a
coming
faint whistling coming from his ears, like a
Okay.
tea boil, like a boiler
Okay.
whistle.
out.
He's gonna just put like one paw on the top of this lady's head.
Tilt your head up, and
Oh,
I
what have
want you
done
to
me?
exhale.
What is inside of me?
I'm trying to figure that out. Tilt your head up and
Lady?
exhale forcefully. I was just trying to find another use for Disney.
What the fuck
did
is a
you
Disney?
use
And he screams up
Disney?
and just like exhales out as hard as he can.
Yeah,
My
it
poor
doesn't
dear.
really help. It's
Don't
just-
open your mouth to the sun, my goodness.
Oh no! I put in other ingredients that should cancel that effect out.
Are you
just fine.
sure?
Well, I was.
Oh, and she just like hugs her heart. It's like, hello, my wonderful alembic. Oh my goodness.
All right. Forgive me. I will fix this. I promise. Give me your hand.
No.
Is it gonna be like this for? Okay, hold on. What are you expecting to happen if I look
Let
up
it
and breathe hard?
Let it set. Let it
Well,
simmer
I
a
was
bit.
just checking to see if any fire came out.
You're
But
gonna
that
try
doesn't seem
harder
be
to
a
breathe
side
fire.
effect.
Yikes.
You try harder to breathe fire. You feel just from the amount of heat in your mouth you should be, but you don't see any billowing flame, and neither does anybody else.
There is rage like none of you have ever seen on Kane's face right now. You have fed me a bad meal.
No. I have a suspicion. If it's not breathing fire, there's
Why
one
an
other
empty
thing
stomach?
No, there's one other thing I need to test. Give me your hand, please.
If I lose this hand, I will kill you.
Oh god.
You'll be
And
fine.
I do the human seatbelt
I
thing
can-
again.
I've got a little bit of healing.
Like, no,
He puts the left hand and just looks her dead
kill
in the
her,
face.
then your archery lessons are void.
I will kill you as well, Aris.
Kane, unfortunately, that's gonna go up to Dara, and you
okay.
don't stand a chance.
I will take my chances.
There's no chance to take. You will die.
Done. 2 for
Double-
1 deal. Any hands
Okay,
over the
reaches
left.
reaches out, grasps not quite your left hand, but the forearm just above it. This might sting a little for a moment, but don't worry.
Oh,
I'll fix it.
really?
So Alzana
And-
know what's gonna happen here.
Uh-oh.
And Alsana, you very easily recognize her free hand moves in a quick motion, and she says a word,
I pull out my hand crossbow.
and a brief lick of flame bursts from her hand grasping Kane's arm. As you take not 2 but 1 point of
I
fire
will-
damage.
Okay. If she just lit me on fire, I was gonna strangle her.
She did light you on fire, but it hurt
my
less than
God.
you thought when you jerked away.
Hold on. I'm still resistant to magical damage.
Yeah, but 1 still shifts down to 1.
Yes,
It's
but
not
it means he
quite
doesn't
shift
notice the
zero.
difference.
Oh, fair. She looks at it. All right. Well, that looks like resistance.
I was already resistant
Oh, to
Oh.
fire in general?
Hold on. You
to
said
magic.
didn't he? Right?
Magic. Oh, magic. Oh, well, in that case, I think there's still a hot coal in here from last night, and she goes towards her fire pit.
As
Oh
she
my
turns
God,
away, there's
what?
like a hand that grabs for her and misses.
She fishes the coal out with a stick, rolls
While
it
we're
free.
testing, actually, Kane, do you want to put your arm out again?
He just looks at Alsana and goes, I will shit on everything you love if this goes poorly.
All right.
If you have the ability to after this.
I promise you I will have the ability to shit after this.
All right. Grasp this coal, please. Other hand, just
He just like
hold it
slowly cricks his neck towards her.
and let me know if it hurts and when it hurts and about how much and if it's more or less than you expected.
If you could rate your pain on a scale from 1 to 10.
Do I have
that
a
would be
baseline
incredibly helpful.
compared to what? I never grasped a coal before.
Let's say a 1 is kind of like squeezing your finger with your other finger, and a 10 is breaking your femur in half.
Never broken my femur in half.
Well, we can worry about that later.
A
You're
1
not gonna
is
break this
hardly
too hard.
noticeable, and a 10 is excruciating.
A 10 is
He's
bordering
going to, he's
on
gonna
your
grab the
brain
coal
shutting
and as
down.
quickly as he can whip it at Osana's head.
Oh my god.
Make a ranged attack.
I have +2 to that.
Yeah.
So with no proficiency, right?
Hmm.
This
Yeah,
would be
probably no
improvised.
proficiency. It's not quite. Yeah, it's improvised.
All right, I still get archery. I still get archery fighting style because it's still a ranged weapon technically, right?
You know what? Sure.
All right, in that case, +4, whatever this is. Fuck me!
9.
All of a sudden, like head goes to the side.
Yep, you
Yeah,
misjudged.
like the-
You whip
like
it out
the-
there. But the coal hurt your fingers less than you thought. You look at them; they're barely even pink.
Also, it turns back. Also, turns back to Dalva. You said didn't he, right?
A bit. It was only one of the ingredients. It shouldn't have the. It shouldn't be all that affects it.
She flicks
I
a
was-
sacred flame at Kane.
I will end you. I will absolutely end you.
You take 13 points of radiant damage, but halved because of your magic resistance currently.
He's not weak to it though from any sort of didn't he side effect.
No, he's not weak to it.
All right.
So with a
Nice.
7?
Yep.
6.
Tell you what,
She's
player to player,
holding it.
take the lower.
Yeah, she's
6.
pulling it anyways. She's not trying
Oh,
to
God.
hurt him.
He just turns to her, it's like, that felt like magically resisted flames. Also, Elsana.
I'm sorry. Who just threw a hot coal at my head?
A hot coal is just a rock with extra bite. That's
May I
magic.
note, those weren't flames. That was technically radiance. So it doesn't seem to make you more vulnerable to radiance.
Is that an
neither does it
unexpected
seem-
side effect?
Yes. She.
It's a welcome one.
She successfully counteracted the Ditney's usual effect. Usually, when you rub Ditney on your skin, it's enough to make the sun hurt.
I'm already out in the sun. Why did you need magic for that?
Well, because it might be the more direct thing.
Besides, it's not rubbed on his skin. He ingested it.
Yes,
She's jotting notes furiously.
We're testing Kane.
You see Kane just take a second and just close his eyes and just almost make like a meditative pose with his hands.
Dalva's peering at her notes, not noticing. You know, actually, I had a suspicion. I had a bit of a theory that it might do something for cold with this particular formula. But I don't know how to test that because you're
he genuinely grabs the gnome by the throat.
Oh!
Good morning, everyone. What the fuck is going on,
Oh my
Kane?
god.
If you give Alsana any more ideas,
There's a magic like arcane thing on the side of Kane's head. You're going to put my friend down now, brother.
you're not going to cast magic on me if I do.
She tilts her head.
Can I be awake at this point and see what the
You
Yes.
can indeed be awake at
I
this
hear
point.
it.
Kane, you feel a point of a greatsword on your back.
Call it! Yeah, no, I call. Yeah, before I call it, I just call out, call it!
Mom!
Let her go, Kane.
If Alsana casts magic on me, I'm going to kill
God, we
I've
have a
struck you with
self-defense
lightning.
standoff.
Alsana,
yeah.
shush for a moment. Kane,
She's Dalva's patting at Kane's arm.
Put her
He
down.
will put her down. And it says, you're going to write down the rest of your expected effects, and we will discuss how we're going to test this while this potion is still affecting me. Glorious, can you please find me some eggs?
I don't know
Yes.
how long it's going. Is your tongue still burning?
Yes. In fact, I'm
Well-
feeling. It feels like you dropped that hot coal down my throat and it is slowly reaching the bottom of my toes.
Oh,
I've got to wonder,
that's-
Kane.
that's something I'm gonna have to work out.
The potion made your mouth warm. It didn't lock your legs in place. You're like perfectly capable of leaving at any point.
Yes, but I'm aware that this is what I agreed to. However, if she continues to exacerbate the situation and suggest you hit me with more magic, Alsana,
All right.
It seems
Okay.
you're
He
not
pulls out his
dealing.
heavy crossbow. I'm gonna go hunt for eggs.
thank you.
Um,
Bring bacon if you can.
Look up in
Be
the
Yeah,
trees.
I
There's
will.
plenty of nests.
Be careful, they're stealthy this time of year. You'll need the crossbow.
As Alaris goes out and hunts down some eggs, go ahead and roll a quick survival check.
Check for
See how
tracks,
you're doing.
buddy.
Yep.
Eggs
It's
be rolled.
more. It's more trying to figure out
Yeah,
where a
shit.
nest might be.
He's
Mm.
with the 6. He's looking for egg tracks.
Roll
No,
like a
I,
chef boy already
I was
can.
hoping to use perception to look for fucking bird tracks, but like apparently not.
It's survival for tracks and
hold on,
first.
John.
Yeah.
John, I want you to repeat that to me slowly. Bird tracks?
Bird tracks.
Okay, how do birds
You
fly?
know, sometimes they walk across.
Also,
Sometimes they walk.
also like looks to Adolph and it's like, I don't think we have any dodos here, do we?
No.
Not for years. I think you want to go to the Dark Hedges for that.
Oh, I've been meaning to
Dodos
visit.
exist?
Well,
Katie's gonna just,
axe beaks do.
Katie's gonna stand up slowly and just, please write down what else you would like me to try and test.
Really, just the one thing.
Don't worry, Adolph.
Write it
he just
down. I
needs
don't
grunt.
want Alsana getting any fast ideas.
I already said it. And there's a little bit of a grimace on her face.
Who can make me an ice cube?
I have the
Not
nail of a
into,
frost
not into
giant.
one. Who can summon an ice cube?
Where's
I had
the-
some water.
Stick your tongue out.
Didn't Alaris have the snowball thing? Or you?
I have the snowball thing.
Can we use the
Hint, hint.
snowball thing?
Katie's gonna take the snowball and just mush it slowly into his face.
Yeah, it mushes slowly into your face. It kind of hisses and melts, and you take your hand down, and it reforms in your hand. Your face feels a little bit better.
Was it any-
It doesn't really do damage, though, normally, so...
But was it any cooler or warmer than he expected?
You didn't really feel the cold much.
Over the pain.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes. And he puts the snowball in the potion maker's hand. Says, "Push this on your face and tell me if it feels very cold."
Well, it feels cold in my hand.
Push it on your face, please.
For
Oh,
science,
you're huffing now.
for science, and
He's
she
trying to do a
dramatically
science.
slams the snowball into her own face.
And was it cold?
Whew.
Like
Refreshing.
it's like a golf clap.
But yes, it was cold.
Well, science.
It did not feel cold. Now, can someone please explain what the hell a science is?
And don't worry, it's for people who
kind of
know
magic?
things. It's for
It's
people who know
alchemy.
things.
Why not just call it alchemy then?
It's
because
it's not.
alchemy is a branch of science.
Yeah, it's not just alchemy.
So what else is it?
It's
Science is a method.
What is the method of alchemy? You don't seem to have a method. You threw things together until it turned into something.
Well, yes, that's what science is.
she
That's
nods.
not a
But
method.
but the trick is that you have to write everything down and you have to make observations.
He's going to take the clipboard out of her hand and take the charcoal pencil.
Excuse me,
I am borrowing this.
those are my notes. Give it
I'm
back.
not
And she's kind
Delva.
of jumping and swiping.
Kane will give back the paper, hit the pencil, pull a piece of paper out of his pocket, and just write on the paper, "I will slap Alsana," and hand it back to her.
This is a declaration of intent.
Is that not writing it down?
No, you write down the results after you do something. So if you were to slap Alsana,
Alsana's taking
and
the
then
dodge
she were
action.
and then if you were to set you on fire, then you would be able to write down slapping Alsana results in being set on fire. But the thing is, you'd have to repeat that several times over and over and over again and see
He
if
just gets a big grin in his face.
and then you'd have to write down which results happened and how many times, and you'd make comparisons between them as to
You know, if you had the
severity and-
physical ability to,
Alsana, you do sleep. You realize this, right?
and as do you.
And are you going to hit me preemptively?
I don't know. Are you going to be willing to walk outside?
I gotta make breakfast somehow.
She just shrugs.
Anyhow,
Okay,
it seems like this is good for cold resistance and possibly also heat resistance, though you said your magical resistance might muddy the waters a little bit.
we can
I'll
do further
continue
testing.
You
I'll
couldn't have
continue
asked this
testing.
question earlier. Actually, what day of the
Um,
month is it?
I would like to. It is the 5th day. It is Wish Day.
Okay, then I still have it for today. And he will just take a deep breath and... You said it has to be repeated, right?
Well, yes, multiple times.
I will take a secondary dose tomorrow when my magical resistance wears off. However, I expect to be compensated somehow for this.
I'm sure we could work something out.
Also, Delva, if you want to just shelf this, I have a lot of things I've brought back. You might be more interested in.
I really want to get this done.
All right.
I don't think she has many willing test subjects.
Well, that as well. By the way, if you see Talon, I'll still give you directions to him if it helps.
No, let Talon be. If I see Talon right now, I may have to strangle someone.
Hmm,
He gets
I suppose.
grumpy.
Him or Talon?
Yes.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'll try to see if I can get the burning sensation down a bit, though I don't want to sacrifice the utility. It's so difficult to get two
And-
resistances into one potion.
Hand me back my snowball, please.
Oh, right, I forgot about this. And
He
she
just
hands
takes
it
the
back.
snowball and just slowly starts biting it.
You
Doesn't
bite
help
it,
at all.
and each bite, the snowball reforms in your hand shortly after melting against your tongue. But before you can really swallow the water,
But does the
um,
coolness help with the spice?
the coolness gives the illusion of helping with the spice. But every time it goes away, the spice almost seems to spread.
He's just gonna take the snowball and just hold it in his mouth as long as he can.
All right, you hold it about 6 seconds. It melts, reforms in your hand. The spice
Just-
seems to spread. You put it back in. Oh, and I almost forgot. Do let me know if anything burns on
On the way out.
I'll be sure to bring you samples.
Like I said, if you had the ability to.
I will bring you samples. Don't worry.
It's not necessary.
Not you. Perhaps you can use it as another ingredient. Magical dung. Especially half-orc dung. Especially one currently blessed. I'm sure it'll be very useful as an ingredient.
Well, I've put worse into potions. She
Specifically
claps
this
the
one?
pencil down. Hmm,
We don't.
no.
It's good that you don't
I-
ask that question.
He's just gonna put a hand up. It's like, I'm going to ask. Could you please lie to me about that question if the answer is yes?
It's better if you just don't answer and just don't ask it in the first place.
I'm not quite sure how you qualify worse.
I specifically asked you to lie to
The
me
more
about
you
the
go
answer.
into this, Kane, the worse it's going to get.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm not going to pretend that I don't care. Because unfortunately, I do want to see this experiment before
Well, you-
so that no one
well,
else
you've
must
been-
suffer this.
Well, you've been doing such a good job of it so far.
Well, regardless, I'm going to go put my notes away and I'm going to get dressed for the day. Thank you so much for helping me with this. It gets so difficult doing the test on yourself, especially when they knock you unconscious and you can't really document anything.
Just he takes a deep breath and just, I have one more question.
Yes?
Do you have any rosemary?
Oh, I believe I've got a little sprig.
I think I have some.
I'm going
No,
to
no.
ask for some of your rosemary, please.
I'm
Perhaps some
supposed to help him with his breakfast preparations, or at least the gathering. So by all means. And she
Perhaps-
ducks back into the tent. You hear
Perhaps some
rummaging around, clinking of jars.
and Kane is going to just do his best to get as many spices collected as he can while he has the resources.
Yeah. Also, just hangs him like a sprig of like rosemary and one of oregano.
He just goes like, are these cooking quality or?
Find out yourself. Take a bite.
I don't think I can taste anything right now.
Well, then figure it out later or ask Lars. But
All right. Do you want to help me look for ingredients, or you have something else to do?
I'm gonna be here for a bit, maybe. Bye bye. Go away now.
Eventually, very, very briefly, Kane, you get your hands on a bit of oregano, a bit of parsley, some rosemary, a little bit of mint, some various other herbs local to the forest specifically.
Lars comes back like, there's no eagle tracks.
Yep. And Lars comes back with an unfortunate lack of eggs.
He just kind of sighs and just. Alaris, I'll make you breakfast. Anyone else who wishes for me to cook for them, I will do so. Kate will walk to the center of camp and sit down and just slowly start making the fanciest omelet he can gather.
Yep.
If he can
Um,
find any eggs.
Of a note, after about 10 minutes after you drank that potion, the fire in your mouth and throat subsides. It does leave behind a little bit of a numb tingle, but you can feel just from experience with other potions that this one has technically worn off.
I'm assuming at this point that he'll be around her because probably have more than 10 minutes to gather and then let her know. That was poorly worded. I'm gonna assume that because she was still there, because it probably took a while to gather the ingredients, that he was able to tell her as soon as it happened.
Okay. Yep. Dalba takes all the notes and symptoms that you can give her information on, including the fact that it seemed to last like a 10-minute span.
Can't believe I rolled 2 natural ones. So angry. It was a con save too. I have a +6.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, basically all through those 10 minutes, you had tears lingering in the corner of your eyes, kind of blurring your vision.
Lovely.
That, it didn't seem to, like, upset your stomach. You didn't actually have to throw up or anything like that. There was no unpleasantness or actual gastronomic distress.
I think that was potentially the most eloquent way that could have been put.
Of
So,
note,
And now back to normal Kane voice.
yes.
Of note, Alsana is going to just be at Dalba's for a little bit and basically go through all the insanity of the ingredients she's gathered with her.
Yep. And Dalba is probably quite full of ideas, or at times she's got nothing.
Yep. And she just like slams on the table. It's like, here is 10 doses of concentrated frost giant and cloud giant cardia.
Oh,
I
I
love
wonder what
cardio
happened if I
thought.
added a little bit of that to this potion.
Why?
Yep, and
Why?
just that goes.
Yep. That goes on for a while. Kane, you feel a little shiver up your spine across the cap.
There's another. Oh god, there's 2 of them.
But in time, you guys all have your breakfast. You've got the rest of the day. You've got technically the rest of the month, really. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Kane, as
Oh, no.
as you're cooking, a bird flies down from the trees and lands on the ground right next to you. And you
What
see
Color bird.
it looks like a ordinary kind of grayish pigeon.
Okay, it's not black. It's not Alsana.
No, it's a gray pigeon.
All right.
And it has a piece of parchment tied to its legs. As you receive a letter.
Ooh.
And I went ahead and I sent you the document in DM. So you can read that and do what you will with it at any time.
Okay, I'll read it over now.
Yep, but for everybody else, what would you like to do with the day, with the week, with the month?
I'll say
What
by
are
the
your plans?
by the middle of the day, Alsana kind of calls the group together. At a point.
Mhm.
Wait, sorry, real quick. At first she's gonna call. She's gonna go find Calda.
Okay.
Calda's
Calda.
probably writing a letter off on her own.
All right. Alsana comes to visit.
She kind of like gives a flick to the tent.
Good afternoon, good morning.
It's around 11, I think. Anyways, about the brief conversation yesterday.
Yep.
All right. And she just kind of like sits down on anything that's nearby. So I'm going to ask you this time, and if I go over the same thing that Kane's has, then forgive me. But what do you know about the person we saw in the Feywild?
Calda's gonna like look up from her perch and just go, nothing
At all?
at all. I genuinely thought it was me, and I was just feeling immense guilt for not remembering visiting my daughter, and then she started saying things like wearing her hair up, and I told Kane I haven't worn my hair up for years before I had kids, and plate armor, and I hate plate armor, and it was all wrong. And then I felt like something was off, and that's when I gave you a look in the Feywild that something was off, and I had no clue what was going on.
She's kind of nodding. Right, and after we encountered that person, you weren't curious about it at all? You didn't
I-
mention it until we've brought it up to you.
There's no room for curiosity when you're worrying about your child and her safety. And knowing that that person is on this plane now is making it so much worse.
And you wouldn't want to know more about that person?
I do, but it's an afterthought of, spending time with my child I haven't seen in years.
I'm just kind of like glancing up and down. Can Alsana roll an insight?
You can roll an insight.
Can she be kind of tapping her arm with a guidance?
Yeah. Calder, you recognize the motions. You know that Alsana is basically boosting her own skill in something.
Yeah, Kalta's like giving like a little bit of an eyebrow look and just writing as Alsana's doing her stuff.
21.
Dude.
Oh, 21. Ty, you can choose what to say. You can go to DM or self and roll whatever charisma check you feel is appropriate for Calda.
Do I need a charisma check?
I mean, not necessarily if you want to just decide. 21 is pretty good.
I'll roll one just in case. Let's do this. Pretty believable. Calda looks like she's telling the truth, and she's really vehemently and very seeming protective at the moment. Not yet defensive, but who knows? There's an inkling, but there's truth to what she's saying.
You understand where this is coming from, yes?
I know you're concerned. I know Kane is concerned, and with that, I'm pretty sure Alaris is concerned, Alsana, but
Yeah.
I'm curious over concerned, personally.
I'm as curious as anyone, and I'm very worried that if I send my family anywhere except them staying home, that it's not just me, that there is every single one of us that looks the exact same, apart from a few quirks.
That is a far reach.
If it happened to me, why did it just happen to me?
Because your daughter was trapped in the Feywild? I don't have a daughter trapped in the Feywild.
Why?
The Fey are known for their odd deception and changes and illusions, and you saw what we dealt with in the brief time we were there. Odd things are happening with planes. Portals coming and going. You saw that the Dryad, she fell here. The Gulfius tree in the Zornwood just appeared out of the Shadowfell. Things are oddly happening. And so it seems that your daughter was one of the ones to fall into one of them.
I just want her to get home. I just want her to be safe, and I don't know where safe is anymore.
Then why not look into it?
I would rather have her be in a place where I trust the people around and then look into it so I know that they're not going to attack other people who I love.
And what about of my perspective? Of not knowing if you could potentially be that person? Armor and hair is all well and good, but the same face.
Freaks me out too. I have from mirrors, but just seeing the emotion when I'm not showing it. And
Also, there
I
are
hope you can.
there are details with a mirror where you wouldn't be seeing a mirrored version of yourself. You'd be seeing the actual version of yourself, which you've actually never seen.
Yeah, and that weirded me out. But I'm still the person you left Threshold with. I'm still the person who's done all of the shrines with you. I'm still that Calda. And I'm still the mother of my 3 children. And the wife to my husband. And a sister. And a daughter.
You say as much. This is the greater part I'm worried of. Is that no one is malicious here. Consider for a sec that both you and whoever that was in the Feywild have the possibility of, from their own perspective, being completely in the right and only having good intentions for your daughter and family.
I don't think anyone pretending to be me or claiming to be me has any good intentions for
How
my
do you know
family.
that? How do you know?
That's why I switched to claiming or something along the lines.
You're currently claiming to be.
Because I know I am. And I know you are skeptical and a lot of people are skeptical, but I know it's me.
You trust that it's you. You hope that it's you. I hope as well, but that only goes so far.
Don't be all manipulative with me. I'm not a fan.
I'm not trying to be manipulative. I'm bringing the idea that no person's memory is always the greatest.
But you're bringing that idea to question my own identity. For me to question my own.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't bring it up with me as well. We all went to the Feywild.
Are you insinuating that I believe that I am the real Calda, but I may not be?
You or the other one. Just as well. There could have been things that happened in the Feywild that I don't remember. I might have known the answer to this riddle, and now I don't. I would have no way of knowing if Ranulfer was fully honest in things that happened. If there were details that were left out of my memory, of the ones he protected and the ones he didn't. I don't mean it to just you, but that place is a place of tricks and deception and memory being unreliable, and time shifting in odd ways.
Asana, I don't know where you're going with this, except the fact that you are not trusting anything right now, and we've known each other for months.
I don't think you're going to hurt Rose, and I don't think you're going to hurt me. But I don't want to have a situation where you're blindsided by the idea that either yourself or the copy that we've seen doesn't actually have the connection that they think they have, despite their good intentions. If you were from that one's position, where you were fully convinced that Rose was your daughter, and a group of people, one holding your face, went and ran off with her, you'd have that same rage in your eyes.
You want to see truth? I'm going to bring Rose back to Umbarian. If you'd like to accompany me, that'd be fine.
And what if we meet the other one along the way?
Then we question. If she runs, we subdue. We do not kill. Understand?
Good. Like I said, just be open-minded to things. That is your mind not being honest with yourself. I wonder if there's some thoughts of Kane that I've dug under deep down in here. And she kind of like taps her side of her head. Maybe I had better ideas of who my mother was way back when, but the thoughts are too difficult for me to consider. Who knows? I don't. I couldn't.
Colin's gonna give a slight nod and just close up her parchments and put them in her pack and just go. Should we head out tomorrow?
There's one other thing. Something that's bothering me at least. It's somewhat along the way. A bit out of the way. Long leg.
I heard your concerns before. Is something more going on?
Something evil going on. Something cruel and menacing and with little concern for humanoid life. It'd be good if we had some time of separation. If there was... How to phrase this? Are you sending word to your family?
No. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say our daughter's alive. Rose is alive and I wasn't crazy and she's still how she was years
What
ago.
of the double? We don't need the...
I can't send a message that quickly that there's another me and who knows where trust will lie. I trust my husband and I do trust my family, but I'm afraid.
It's understandable.
That's why I'd rather travel there with Rose, explain for a day, and travel back.
Even if there's the possibility of running into that other one?
That's a possibility I'm gonna have to deal with.
I'm saying if we gave it some time of separation. Rose seems happy here, at least for a temporary time.
I'm not letting her stay without my husband knowing, but I don't know how to explain through a letter that his daughter is alive.
I get that. I'm saying we just give some time to think on it and give some time to see if we come across the other one. Just for a bit. She'll be
What
safe.
if she
She'll be safe here.
What if she reaches Umbarian first?
If she's on her way there, then we can't possibly beat her there.
Who knows her starting point?
Then why haven't you sent a letter, a warning of her then? You don't have to mention Rose.
Caldo will like turn her parchment over. What do you think I'm doing now?
I thought I'd do you the gesture of not reading your page.
Appreciate it.
Do you want me to send it with mine? And she kind of like spins the amulet on her wrist.
Yes, please. Just Caldo's just gonna like quickly read it over and just fold it up and sign it off and hand it to Alsana.
Alsana, can Alsana walk out and kind of Disney princess a bit? Find a bird.
You know what? You see a bird. It's just flown up away from Kane and is perched on a tree nearby, kind of preening itself.
She kind of gives like an owl whistle. Just try to get its attention.
All right. Let me just double check a thing. Go ahead and roll an animal handling check just to see how well you do with that.
Range is 30 feet on Animal Messenger, right? Within range.
Yep. Yep.
Animal handling. Oh, natural 2025.
All right. You whistle the exact call. It's not quite a whistle. It's more of a coo of pigeon, and you see its head. Its head just whips right up from its wing and whips
puts the
around to
finger out.
face you. Kind of cocks its head, and it's used to people. It flutters down and perches.
Suddenly kind of like walks in with the pigeon on the finger, looking at Calder with a smile on her face.
Calder like just gives a solemn nod back. I'm gonna go find I'm gonna go find your brother.
Note that you do have to spend a second level spell or 2 first level spell slots in order to charge up the amulet in order to enchant the bird. So yeah.
She had some empty ones yesterday. If it wasn't charged by now.
Sure, I'll allow it.
All right. Yep. And she'll just kind of like give it a tie around, give the pigeon a pet and maybe some seeds, and then send it off to Umbarian.
Okay. I believe that the bird does. Your amulet is enchanted to only send birds to Threshold, and they forward it on.
Yes.
So you send it
Oh,
to
yep, fair enough.
basically yeah. You
Send it
to
to
them
the
at-
post office.
Yep, they will take care of it.
Is there like a Crowmaster threshold?
Probably.
There is now.
Where's the Crow Lord?
Yeah, probably.
Give us the bird man.
The Pigeon Master.
Pigeon master.
First name Pigeon, last name Master.
Hell yes.
The Dove Duke.
Duke.
No, I don't want that back.
All right. So
Cal's gonna
that's
give it-
sent off.
Cal's gonna give it not to Osana. I'm gonna go find Kane.
All right.
Thanks.
She just kind of like gives a wave.
I'll do a wave back while using the other hand to just tuck her stuff back and go find the boy.
Alsan will go find Alaris during that too.
Okay.
Okay.
Do Alaris first.
Go ahead with Alaris.
All right. She like kicks in the door or like tent flap of wherever he is.
Somebody.
Goodness.
Hey, you.
Yes.
Do you want to go to Long Lake? Maybe kill some evil.
Sure.
Would you
I have
like to
nothing
kill
better to
some
do.
evil today?
He gets up.
I don't know if we're going right today. I'd like to, but either way.
Yeah.
Oh, this is. I'm glad we all have the same idea.
How's the big guy been?
He came to me in a dream last night actually.
Oh, really? And she kind of like
Yeah.
leans forward.
We were at a
He doesn't-
table.
Doesn't come
That's
to me for
okay.
dreams.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were at a table of some kind. You know that orb we found, right? The black orb.
Yes, I'm vaguely aware.
Yeah. He had it in that dream. He rolled it over to me since we were sitting at this sort of stone table. I tried to focus on it, but I don't think I have what it takes to harness it right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you have it on you?
I do. Actually, I think, yeah. Do I have it on me?
Yeah, you have the orb on you. It's a solid lump of what seems to be a cool, smooth metal.
'Cause like she kind of like puts her hands out to see it.
Yeah. I'm not quite there yet, apparently.
Can she see any like arcane markings on it or anything like that? Or is it purely smooth?
It is purely smooth from a visual perspective. I will allow you to go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Right, she'll just kind of give a guidance check too. Guidance tap on herself.
Okay.
20.
Okay. Let's see now.
She's basically trying to
Um,
figure out what this could be or what it does.
Yeah, 20's good, but you haven't like actually encountered anything like this before, and to be frank, metals and things of that nature are not your strongest suit, but you can tell that whatever it is, it either has some innate magic or responds well to magic. There is something about it that resonates a little bit with that weave of magic that's in the world. Just a little, just subtly beneath the surface.
She kind of like rolls it between her two hands and like
It's
tosses
not
it
as
back to
overt as
Lars.
something that is enchanted.
She'll like toss it back to Alaris and just. Have you tried like
Yeah.
focusing on it, like attuning to it, or casting
Tried
through it,
to.
or anything?
I haven't tried casting through it.
Hmm.
And
Give
I'll
it a
step
try.
outside, actually. Yeah.
As they walk
I'll,
out, she tapped them with guidance.
Okay.
All right. Are you attempting to cast a spell through it?
I'm gonna hold my hand out with the orb.
Mhm.
Put like, like Delaware Smash style, just like hand on wrist, hand out with the orb in hand, and I'm gonna try and channel an Eldritch Blast through it.
All right. You try to channel the magic through. Let's see. 15 plus 4 plus 3. The Eldritch Blast actually doesn't seem to channel through. For one thing, Eldritch Blast isn't anything that uses material components anyway, so basically you just fire off a blast past or around the orb. It doesn't seem to enhance it. It doesn't seem to focus it or help you aim. And again, that is a cantrip that does not take material components, so you wouldn't be using a focus for it anyway.
Okay.
But go ahead and use that guidance to make another charisma check as you are focusing on this
Yeah.
and essentially trying to put magic through and into it.
Dang it.
Okay. Yeah, even with the guidance, it's not enough. Even if you got a 4 on guidance, 17 would not do it. You kind of feel that humming, that you're on the cusp of something, but you just haven't
Yeah.
found the tipping point for it yet.
Yeah. Relay that to Alsana.
She's thinking. What do I? She'll give it. Just like tap the unicorn wand real quick and detect good and evil. This thing ping on anything?
Nope.
It's not
It
consecrated,
seems-
desecrated, or anything like the cane sword or anything.
No, it seems as far as good and evil, consecrated and desecrated go, this thing seems thoroughly neutral. It pings nothing for you.
She just kind of like scratches her head. I don't know. Let's see what the skull has to say. And she pulls out York.
Hey there! How
Hey.
you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm doing great. It's been a little bit stuffy, but hey, you guys are real entertaining to just watch, to be
Yeah,
honest.
we've been busy with things.
Yeah, pretty well. Hey, I got one for you.
Oh,
You
good
ready
riddle?
for this?
Good riddle.
You ready? Okay. You get many of me, but never enough. After the last one, your life will soon snuff. I worked that real rhyme, and you like it?
Mm.
You may have one of me, but one day a year. When the last one is gone, your life disappears.
A year?
Birthday?
Our birthday?
Yeah, it's a birthday.
Alright.
You got that a lot faster than I thought you would.
Hmm.
Well, damn it, just gonna have to think about it more. I'll figure it out.
Hmm.
Anyway, you wanted to talk? Let's talk.
Okay, first of all, I meant to ask, who made you? How did you come to be in existence?
I don't know who made you. How'd you come to be in existence?
We don't talk about that.
Why not?
Yeah, we don't.
Because my father's a whore. Um, let's.
Interesting. Okay.
Were you created by anyone? Did you have
I
previous
mean-
owners?
I mean, maybe. I just know that, I existed one day, and I don't think I existed before. At least I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember existing before I existed.
All right.
Does that make sense?
What happened on the first day you remember existing?
Well, I kind of got a sense of, oh, this is a me. I am a me. And then there was a not me, and that turned out to be someone else, and it was real mind-blowing experience realizing you had a mind.
Yeah,
You
I'd
know?
imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was me, and it was the wispy blue lady, and it was
Wispy blue lady.
it was like rooms made of stone and wood, and she'd kind of talk to me sometimes, and I sat in a box other times, and then I don't know. And then there was another wispy blue lady, and she picked me up and she took me somewhere. But I kind of stayed in the box a lot of the time. Honestly, she didn't talk to me so much, but she had a nice voice, just like the first one. At least I think that was the first. Either it was a first or a second, or they looked very much alike. I heard there's a thing called twins. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Is that a thing mortals actually? Do you mortals actually have people who look like you but aren't you?
That's a funny topic you bring up, actually. Yes, that is a thing. Sometimes when mortals are being made, sometimes there's two of them when you expect one. And you kind of get
Interesting.
two for one. And sometimes they'll look very similar, sometimes they'll look kind of similar. They have
Do
their
they-
own minds.
Do they know?
I imagine they can look at each other and figure it out, and then look in a mirror.
Now I'm just wondering if there's maybe another me. I wouldn't know. I never met one.
Well, I'll-
But anyway, wispy blue lady carried me around for a while, and then she put me down, and then there were some other people who were not wispy or blue, but some of them might have been ladies. At least that seems to be like the front of the language being thrown around. She and her and lady, and there was he and him and man, and they and them and person and
Any names?
yeah. I eventually there was the big scaly green thing.
Big scaly green thing. Did it have wings?
Yeah, wings, lizardy tail.
How-
Kind of spat poisony goop.
Four
Um,
legs,
I mean, I only saw it once.
but two at the front.
I was just kind of tossed onto a pile in front of its claws once. Okay, what do you want from me?
You were in a
Uh,
dragon sword.
Yeah. And then I was back in the box, and then I think the box moved. It's a little hard to tell because I was in the box, and then there was you guys.
Were you in the horde of the... sorry, what... I'm trying to remember now. What's the name of that, old
Vastron.
Vastron? Does Vastron ring a bell?
I mean, one of the little scaly dragony things that were reddish brown might have said the name.
Kobold. Okay, yep. You are decently old, at least, but, okay, these wispy ladies. I don't look like a wispy lady, do I?
No.
Hmm.
Or blue.
Hmm.
No, you are pretty distinctly not blue.
What am I, then?
I don't know, mostly black and white. Kind of a
Alright.
little bit of purple and gold.
Oh, okay. You juicy color, then.
Yeah, I can sense it.
Alright. Okay, well, real quick. Have you ever seen anything like this before? And points the skull towards the orb.
It kind of looks. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before. That's called a ball.
I'm saying this particular kind of ball.
Black ball?
It's a little magic-y, but not too much.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, it might have been in the horde.
Might have been.
I mean, I wasn't exactly like going through and taking notes on all of the inventory.
Well,
You
then
know,
what were
real
you
hard to
doing to
take
pass the
notes without
time?
hands. Making up riddles, telling myself stories.
You don't have a lot of them if it was that long ago.
I forget some,
No, it's okay.
and some of them were kind of rubbish anyway. So let's not share the failures here.
Yes, the two legs, 3 legs. It's a man. I know.
Actually, I haven't heard that one. What's that one?
Oh my goodness.
No, seriously, what's this about men and 2 legs and 3 legs? I've only ever seen them with 2.
What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the midday, and 3 legs in the evening?
What kind of man is that thing talking about?
Well, you see, when man is small, they can't quite walk, so they walk on their arms and legs.
What's that got to do in the morning?
It's the time frame is meant to be metaphorical.
Oh, it's a metaphor. I hate those.
Yeah, they can be weird sometimes. And then the 3 legs is an old person who can kind of walk but needs an assistant, so they use a stick to keep themselves balanced.
What happens if the old man uses a stick but uses both hands on it? Is it 4 legs or 5? Or is it still just 3?
I think it's just 3 because it's the only ones on the ground. I feel like we're going off on a tangent here. Okay, you don't know about the orb here. The ladies, did you ever get a name of the wispy ladies?
As I go ahead and roll for skull memory because this is way back.
And Alzana basically lists off the name of the gods she knows.
And as you list off names, nope, 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 no, nope. That doesn't ring a bell. Nope. Never heard of them.
Did they say what they were? Like, were they mortals?
I don't know.
We can talk later.
Okay.
But try to remember that point. We'll bring it up more. Try to remember about the wispy people, if you can.
Yeah, I'll see if I can come up with something.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll find some riddles for you then. How about that? In return.
Oh, hey, sure. I will say I want to say it's a certain letter, but I don't know. I really want to say it's an S. I want to say it's an S.
An S.
No, maybe it's an L.
S or an L.
God damn it.
Stormgust?
Oh wait, Stormgust. Yeah, that was it.
Aileen Stormgust.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the wispy blue lady.
Really?
At least I'm pretty sure. It could have been like Eleanor or something.
Huh. Oh my goodness. Alright.
So how'd you know that?
Some of our stories have been told over the days.
Oh, cool.
Apparently she kind of ran across the various planes?
That would probably explain all of the moving of the box.
Ah, okay. So you were with her the whole time?
I don't know. Maybe. Might have been. Must have been. Didn't really see much. I was in the box.
Right.
I like it much better out here on your belt. I can
that.
sense a lot more.
Huh. I'm gonna need to go find that smoke singer again. For another time. But thank you very much. This was very insightful.
Hey, great to know. Teach me some of those riddles or tell me some of those stories sometime. I wanna hear about the places I might have been.
Well, we'll find out. But we have a place we're going right now that might be new. Might have some big evil. Do you remember that big lake that I really didn't feel too good about?
Yeah, something was shifty.
Yeah. Alright. We're gonna see what's shifty about it and get puts it on. Oh, hi Lars, you're still here.
At this point, I feel like we're all used to Asana going on tangents like this.
Oh no, I'm fucking digging a backstory here, my dudes. Okay. from that, yeah, Alsana will drag Alaris to the Kane and Calder if she can find them.
All right. You can probably find them, but first, Kane, Calda, have you been doing anything while Alsana was interrogating a skull, as she is wont to
Yes.
do?
So Calder comes across Kane like mid writing of a letter.
Hello. I need
Just-
a hug.
He just like startles and like, shit, yes, here, and opens his arm. Like throws the letter over his shoulder.
What are you writing? And Calder goes for the letter instead of a hug.
He will grab her wrist as quickly as he can.
Calder will 100% break out of that.
Let's fucking roll it.
By all means,
Athletics,
contested.
athletics.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Thank you!
Calda's broken it. Calda, you can go for the letter.
Yeah, going for the letter.
Can I make a die for her waist?
Calder's like
Um,
running with the
I think
I'm
it's a
gonna
letter.
shove
say-
check.
I'm gonna say initiative-wise, go ahead and roll like a mock initiative just after that.
So just
I
dexterity
would
check.
say Calda with that successful athletics has a slight head start. So yes, you can go ahead and dive because you were slightly faster on the uptake than Calda with that. But Calda's already in motion, so go ahead and
Fuck you.
basically. Yeah, you dive. You probably crash into her on a 21 athletics, as if it were an attack roll. Calda, however, quickly turns to mist inside your grasp. Teleports to the letter. It's probably not too far away, within reach. But she can then take movement, and you can
He kind of like
basically
stands
attack
up,
Calder's
opportunity
reading it.
to try to
Calder's
grapple
just
her.
reading it.
kind of like stands up, points at her like, you mother
Hey!
fucker.
Okay. Calm down.
Why is Kane getting abused today? Fuck you.
What's the letter read, Ariel? What's the
Do
letter
you want me to
read?
copy and paste it?
Copy and paste it. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna copy and paste it directly to,
Directly to
um,
Ty.
Aww.
Fuck you, you don't get to know this too, you didn't hold personally.
Yeah, Calda's the one who gets to know this.
I knew your wisdom was shit.
At the end of each turn, can target make another wisdom saving throw.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She's already seen
She's
it.
speed reading.
Ah, this is so fucking. I love it.
Yeah, you can still make a couple of saves just to see if you can snatch it out
I
of
can
her
feel
hand. Just as
mush
she
from
finishes.
here. I know exactly what's going on.
What's your DC?
16.
Okay. First
Fuck
3 rounds,
you.
don't do it.
Still there. Called it. You.
Fuck you.
Nope.
Fuck.
There's only one more round it could possibly come out in. He doesn't break out for the whole minute.
Caldo, you read the entire letter, and
Sorry, you're
finally the
indomitable.
spell fades.
How's it gonna look?
Don't you pin that to the channel?
A non-tailed dragonborn. Is that right?
It's not a metaphor, it's a genuine concern. Look, if you had a tail, it affects your balance and the way you throw a punch, okay?
That's fair. Also, I'm keeping this pinned.
Bastard.
Where's it pinned?
Oh, in our DMs.
In the DM chat. You're not allowed to see it yet.
Mm.
You're not allowed
You
to
get
see
into
it.
this.
Hack my Discord. Go. Oh, that was Eric.
Okay.
That was sound of Devin like driving over to hack you.
Yeah. Good luck trying to crack my password. Call's just gonna like look and just go, okay, have it back.
Kirby.
That's adorable.
Can you release me from the spell first, please?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, and Calder will check the spell.
He just looks at her in like utter betrayal.
I was curious.
I was gonna give you a hug, but now, I mean...
Oh, do you want?
The Alsana on your shoulder is giving you an applause.
See, your sister pissed me off, but then I wanted to feel a little bit of that surge of power, and this was frankly adorable.
He is so betrayed.
You know,
In a
I love
playful way. But like, he's betrayed.
Calder like reaches her arms up for a hug.
He lifts her, because apparently she's 2'9"?
Yeah, I'm 2'9".
Candace's like 6 something.
Yeah, I've been 2'9" since the beginning.
I didn't realize this. He like literally lifts her onto his like knee and like gives her a hug.
Yeah.
The hug is beautifully returned.
And he's just like, I can't believe you used magic to read my private letter.
You seem flustered enough that it was funny, and you really think I'm gonna bring this back on you?
I'm just offended. You could have just asked kindly. I was just startled.
Sure, Kane.
Remember when Calda gave Alsana crap for this kind of thing?
Yep.
Yes. You're a terrible influence. Congratulations.
Yep.
Sure,
Don't
like-
listen to that guy.
In that case, Kane's like, well, in that case, since you know my plans, do you mind if I at least accompany you at least until you get to Soren, and then I can help you charter a boat over to Umbarian.
I don't know if I want to. I sent a letter.
All right.
I'm not explaining Rose. I'm still. I had a conversation with Alsana. Not the greatest.
Not surprising.
Yeah, fair. But I think I agree with her with the fact that maybe Rose should stay here until. I don't know. I sent warning home, and that's all. And I'm concerned. And she wants to go to Long Lake when I want to bring my daughter back home. And
Well, at least let me accompany you
accompany me where?
northward. I need to go to Soren, as you read. I'm planning to head out some point today.
I think we may be heading at a similar point. It depends on her. I think she really wants us all to deal with this.
Well, I'll be remaining in Soren and then probably heading back and visit Long Lake for a while. So probably gonna make a quick stop at is it Poke that Auntie Adelaide was at.
She's north of Poke,
North
kind of
Poke.
in between there and Windsor.
Puck was the place we went to from the guy who came to the place where Auntie Adelaide is.
Oh,
Giant
sorry.
stuff.
Ah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna be heading up to there then to Soren.
I'm gonna help her out at Long Lake because apparently it's not normal or something.
I plan to visit too, just on my return trip rather than my going trip. I'm not gonna have much time on the way there.
Yeah, Barrions, that'd be a far triangle to do in the month, so I don't think I can do it just yet.
You've got priorities. I'll make sure Alsan doesn't get killed at Long Lake.
What'd you say, sorry?
You have priorities. I'll make sure that Alsana doesn't get killed at Long Lake.
No, I would rather go with her. I can make sure she doesn't get killed at Long Lake.
All right. Well, at least all three of us will be there then. Do we know where the water's there?
I
At that
Going
point,
near Walton.
can they show up?
Kane has hidden the letter away at this point, by the way.
yeah, called
Better.
it like giving it back right after like the spell worn off.
You could have folded it up and tucked it away in a pouch.
There's
it's
a
in the
whole
back
minute
holding.
of Kane being paralyzed there, so.
Yeah.
Would Alsana and Alaris be saddling up by now?
It took easily 15 minutes to do that conversation. Anyways.
You can show up just about the point where they are starting to where they're discussing what is Alaris doing. I don't know. We
Yep.
should keep Alsana alive.
And then Alsana is dragging Alaris over to them. Kind of like arm over one of his shoulders, just like, oh, here, there.
Kind of just looks over. It's like, Alaris.
Yeah, he's been mute, oddly, recently. I don't know, he's
That's
just
all
been
it's
not
just
talking.
Yeah, John, you are muted if you're not aware.
Alright,
Alright,
like waves a
I will
hand in
sit
front of his
over
face.
All right.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Then yeah, he's gonna be like, Alsan, you're going a Long Lake, right?
I would hope we're all going to Long Lake.
Yeah.
Right, but you like already planned to go to Long Lake, right?
I was hoping we would all go to Long Lake.
All right, are you okay with it being we
I'm
get
not-
there on the 12th, 13th, 14th, around there?
Why?
Because I plan to go to Soren for the festival.
No, really. I wonder
do.
why.
Yeah, take your guesses. And then afterwards, I plan to head to Long Lake. So, also want to visit Empty Adelaide on the way up. So, feel free to join me.
I'd like to visit her, but maybe not with you.
I'll probably take her with me to Soren. hopefully, so-
Moreover, did we decide exactly what where Rose is going in that time then.
Kane looks to Calda.
Staying here for the time being.
Alright. Personally, I think it'd be better that way. Like I said, there's plenty of protection here. If Dara gets pissed, hell hath no fury. But other than that, they know well enough, and especially Nevi is aware.
If anything happens to my daughter, I'm holding it over your head.
Oh, well then.
This
Okay.
is being sent to us.
Just a realization well, not a realization, but a something from the calendar notes. Wish days are exaggerated good and bad fortune, like superstitiously. Kane's run of bad luck this morning with various situations, and especially with saving throws, he could probably in character blame on it being a wish day.
Oh, it is a wish. It's my fucking birthday too, isn't it?
Nope, it is not your birthday. I have
No, I
noted
mean like in real
everybody's-
life.
Ah, I was thinking of characters. Yes.
Oh, it actually loaded this time. Wish day, wish day. Hold on, I remind myself of wish day is just day of the week. Gotcha.
Yep. It's under note on wish day moons on that sheet.
Okay,
Ah, okay.
so you intend to be going to be gone a bit for the early of the months?
Yeah. Probably head there, hoping to be spending the day Splendor in Soren on the 11th.
Alright, I might make a trip to Threshold then.
Alright.
Also, I kind of glances towards Calda. You'd be free to join me as well, considering the subject matter I'm probably bringing up.
It'd be appreciated, yeah.
You guys need me to try and charter a ship while we're in the northern cities?
She pulls out the broom.
Do you really want to risk flying over the water?
We can take that boat you left by the lake while walking up to Walton.
Yeah, it should still be there. I paid for the while.
I've gone to Threshold before on this thing. It's not that
With
big
an
a
extra
deal.
person in tow?
It's slightly slower. She shrugs.
Your
Not
choice,
that
choice.
big.
Yeah, how heavy do you think Calda is?
Heavier than nothing. Doesn't matter how heavy someone is, if they're on a boat, it messes with the balance.
I would think you would take offense to that, Calda.
I don't want to talk about it.
Is that how you're going to be talking to your girlfriend when you go to see her?
By saying she weighs more than nothing, yes.
Kane.
I don't know, Kane. I think you have confidence with her. It'll be good.
Sure, let's
Deserved
go with
or
that.
otherwise. Maybe I
No.
should stop by Soren, just for fun.
You visited her last month. What do you need to visit her again for?
Oh, she told you.
Yes.
Did you get a letter from her?
No, she sent it through a mystical giant who decided to send out a series of taps with his toes that I understood through magic.
Oh,
I don't say giants.
perhaps you
Alsana
could introduce me to him. I think I have the heart
that
of his
called?
brother.
No, Alsana may have won his blood at that point for potions.
Not the blood, the heart. There's a difference.
You can use. There's blood in the heart. Anyways. I am going to be heading that way. If you'd like to join me, she did express desire to see you folk. Why I can't
All of
imagine why she'd
us?
want to see Alsana. Yes, unfortunately she associates me with you, Alsana. But I think she also seemed to enjoy the presence of Calda and Alaris.
Have I met her once?
Yes, and you tend to have a good impression on people. Probably makes me seem better if I bring you as well, because, well, at least I know someone who's decent.
Thank you.
And if you bring me along, relative to me, she'll be respecting her privacy in spades.
Well, then, if I bring you along, at least have something to compare to make me seem better. Alaris, frankly,
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy meeting her. There's a
Huh.
lot of strange theories, but she's interesting.
What?
She's just an interesting person.
Also cute as well.
You know I have a wife, right?
I'm not asking you to flirt with my girlfriend.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Noting that for
No.
later. Okay.
What are you propositioning? I'm not
just
interested.
just saying hello.
Okay.
Come see you. Say hey.
What's
She expressed a desire to see
Why?
you
What's
both and
wrong,
hear
Alaris?
how
You
you've
don't
been
like to
doing.
take a seat on a swing?
I pull out
Nope.
my crossbow. No.
Also, Alsana, I figure if you're gonna try and spy on me anyway, so might as well at least know you're there.
That's not how. Whatever. She seemed to like me when I was a cat, anyways.
I knew you were some kind of. Anyways,
Cat? Please go on.
no, I was trying to think. Rodent, it would fit you, but no. Bird, didn't notice any feathers. Cat makes sense.
Boy, father really didn't get you a farm book when we were growing up, did he?
Give me shit, and you know that. Anyways, I'm
The
heading
cow
to.
goes moo, Kane.
Indeed, it does. I'm glad you realized this finally. I'm heading up north past Poke and then to Soren. You guys gonna take a more direct trip, or
I think we might stop by Threshold first.
Oh,
then we
threshold
can-
first.
And then we can head to Soren, meet up there, and head to Long Lake afterwards.
Polaris, you want to join me?
Sure.
Good. I still owe you a breakfast, and you still let me practice.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go get my stuff ready. Call the Rose. I want to give her a quick goodbye before I head out.
I'm gonna help you find her. Actually, I
I
think
think
she's.
we
Miss
can head out in
Nebby.
the morning. We're packing up.
I plan to head out today. I want to get as much travel done quickly as I can. I'm not gonna have much time to spare.
Suit yourself then.
I'll help you find her. I'm gonna tell her I'm heading out then with Asana the next day.
And if you can find some way to bring my boat down with you, so I can bring Rose onto it, let me know.
Give us your bag. We'll stick it in there.
No, it won't fit. It's too big.
We'll
What
put
about
it
a
into
kayak?
We'll put it into pieces.
Kayak. Forgot about that. Definitely using that. Gonna have to learn how to ride a kayak, but that's fine.
Similar, I believe, but you may need a paddle the next day.
I can't just like pull across the bottom.
It's difficult.
You know what? You
Alright.
should cut holes at the bottom and just use your feet to walk.
No, I figure if I just hit you hard enough in the head, I can use you as a board to float on.
You think I float?
Are you saying you're too heavy to float?
I'm saying sometimes I have the properties of a corpse.
She weighs more than nothing.
Does a corpse not float?
Depends on the day.
Alright, then hopefully I catch you on a good day. Anyways, I'm packing.
Let's go find Rose then before.
And when Kane, I assume, called eventually find her.
She's with Nevi. She is easy to find. Nevi seems to be basically walking her through a slight refinement of her speech with animals spell.
Okay.
Having her practice on various small beasts and birds that Nevi calls down for her.
In that case, Kane will kind of walk up to her and be like, "Hey Rose, do me a favor."
What is it?
Kane's gonna pull an entire kayak out of his bag.
Roll,
I-
roll a d20.
Oh my god!
I think a 14 would do it. You get the kayak, but yeah, as you thought, no paddle.
Yep, that's right. He gets this. Can you keep this safe for me? Just don't let it get eaten by like a bear or something.
She looks at Nevi and Nevi kind of gives her sideways look, shrug back.
Looney Tune shit.
Well,
Magic is magic, dear.
I think that we can probably keep it safe from any teething bears.
All right. And also any teething puppies, and he looks around for the blink dog.
Biscuit.
You see Biscuit kind of standing behind you, looking at you somewhat reproachfully.
Please don't eat my ship. I will bring you back a bone.
Rose looks over at Biscuit and says something in a lilting language. and you see Biscuit's ears prick up and his tail start to wag.
Kind of smiles and pats on the head.
Just so you know, Mr. Kane, he is really expecting that bone.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll kill something and bring a bone. By the way, you don't have to claim Mr. Kane, that was more as a joke. But if you'd like to, I'm not against it.
I mean, I guess.
Your
It seems
choice.
kind of weird otherwise.
Yeah, your choice. That being said, I'm gonna steal your mom for a few days. Lugak, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dear, it won't be for long. We're
I know. It'll probably not be as long as, well, before, and I guess that's, yeah.
oh, Colin.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry!
Ariel, for Christ's sake, we're trying to get to Long Lake.
Ariel! You can't just hit me with that.
Ariel, I'm trying to get us to Long Lake. You're not helping.
I've accepted that it's not happening this session, unfortunately.
But we can at least get there by next session.
Maybe. But yeah, Rose sees your face, Calda, and immediately starts backpedaling frantically.
No,
Even
it's
even
okay.
Kane is like, oh my god.
It's okay, dear. It's
It's a fair
And
assessment, but a harsh one.
Rose just latches onto you in a hug.
A
I
hand-
didn't mean it like that.
Colin's looking like it's okay. I know.
A few yards over, Alsana looks over to Lars and just grabs her chest, like, "Oh, you feel that? What was that?
God,
That?"
you missed something.
Jesus.
No, I know. It'll be a few days and I'll learn so much. And I'll tell you what I've learned when you come back.
Kane's like also giving them both a hug at this point.
They're just blubbering into each other's arms.
They
Okay,
are.
dear, I'll be back soon. Safe. It'll be alright.
I'll teach you how to. Oh god. I'll teach you how to.
teach you how to ride a boat and
I will.
have fun. And he may teach you how to fish. He taught me how to fish.
Also, you can figure out a way to make an oar for when I come back. It'd be appreciated. But if not, I can just pull it into the bag. So.
Okay, I'll try. And Nevi just kind of looks at you. Yeah, I'll help. And tell you what, I'll maybe even make it an oar if it doesn't magically try and whack you over the head every now and again.
I mean, I'd appreciate it not doing that.
It would be funny though, wouldn't it?
It would be a skill to have to learn. It'd be great balance practice. No. I'm taking a child on the boat. I cannot risk this child.
Make two.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you guys are heading out soon?
Yes. Thank you.
Within the hour, in my case.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm heading out tomorrow morning. Thank you for all your help, Nevi.
Don't mention it. It's great having a little apprentice. I can teach her all the pranks.
Oh no, that's going to be amazing. Oh,
I
if she
cannot
starts
wait.
wearing if she starts wearing eyeliner, let me know.
All right. You'll find out.
I will find out.
You'll find out. Yep. You'll know. You will know.
No. And Rose, let me tell you the most important lesson I learned today.
Yeah?
Never accept potions from strangers. Even if you know them, if they're strange, don't accept the potion.
Okay. Then you see Nevi come over and go, ooh, yeah. I'll have to teach you about Dalba too. No, we'll make that the next lesson.
That's
yeah.
fair.
Tell Double I'll be back at some point.
Will do.
Oh, don't torture the poor soul, but oh my. I'll come and say see you later in the morning, dear. All right.
Okay. I'll see you then.
I'll see you too. I love you.
Love you too.
Lily gives her a ruffle, leaves the tent, and just goes, "Oh."
Alsana's standing outside, "Oh, do you need a..." She, pulls out, a handkerchief and hands it over. "Are you okay?"
Elda relays what Rose said to her.
She's like, "Oh, that's what I felt."
Disturbance of the force.
Yeah. Do you ever just feel really, really guilty about something you know wasn't? Yeah.
It's like commune with nature told me, yikes.
I mean, it ain't wrong.
Kane heads out, heading north up the Green River.
Yep, Alaris in tow.
Yep.
Alaris with him. Okay. Alsana and Calda, you spend the night. You head out in the morning along a different track towards Threshold,
Broombound.
with the plan of meeting up in Sorin and heading down to Long Lake within a few days. So, for the sake of, I guess, scooting along a little bit, so maybe next time we can do Long Lake. Kane, Elaris, you get up to the location of the shrine and the holdout of the Order of the Shadowed Threshold there.
Yep.
You make pretty good time.
Do they do the thing again?
They are happy to see you and they recognize you, so they do not do the thing.
No.
They greet you and welcome you in pretty normally. It's much warmer now than the last time you visited. There's a lot more signs of outdoor life. The garden has come into bloom. It is lush and full around the well and the location of the shrine. They have repaired some of the stonework damage, and they've actually kind of opened up what used to be a secret door leading down into the basement. You'd helped clear it out. They completed, or at least they've gotten a lot further with their construction of that wing that led to its discovery. Kane, Aunt Adelaide is there. She is very pleased to see you. There are probably some teasing comments if you let slip where you're headed and why.
He's basically gonna ask her like, "Hey, so I have a friend of mine who's doing basically a research project, and on unarmed techniques to help teach people from the future. And they need a model. I could do it because I have the right build for it, but I feel like I would rather have your knowledge, and if not you there as well. Would you be able to do me a favor and just compliment on a hand? We can also hang out for the Festival of Splendor at the same time if you'd like. Just up to Soren.
Well, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I could be spared. Let me go and talk to the others. And she does so. An hour later or so, she comes back and says, well, I've been given enough leave to head over to Soren for a week or two and head back, with or without you. I hope that should be enough.
And if you guys need any supplies, I'll cover the cost of them as a thanks.
Don't worry about it. I can take care of myself. I can pull my weight.
Yeah, true, but
You're fine.
I figure I can lend you some kind of thank you. I have a few dozen years of gifts that I owe you.
Honestly, getting to spend time with my favorite little nephew, don't tell your cousins, is,
Oh, please,
I
they
think,
don't know it
thanks
already?
enough.
You ran away. I at least chased after you at some point.
And that would be why.
Exactly.
Now
So-
tell me, where's my favorite little niece?
Don't know. Haven't met her.
And she gives your head a little shove. Now come
she's,
on.
She's headed out for another more personal business of Calda's.
Well, hopefully we'll run into her at some point.
If you stick around long enough, we're gonna head by Long Lake on the way back. Probably gonna see her there.
Well, we're also meeting up in Soren.
Yes, but
Long
I'm
Lake.
assuming she's gonna be busy at that point.
Strange place, but
That's
I
why we're gonna
suppose
visit
if you if you want to do some saltwater fishing, that would be the spot to go.
Oh, I've missed saltwater fish.
Well, I can be ready to go in another hour.
Sure,
All right,
And a bit.
I'll meet you at the front door.
sure. I'll make myself useful around here until then.
You
Yeah,
do
just
so.
lend a hand where I can.
She packs up. She heads out with you, and you guys start to head towards Soren. In the meantime, Calda and Alsana, you go to Threshold.
Yep.
You mostly travel overland and take kind of the thinner part of the gap over the Marimore for the sake of being able to prep yourself to go and spend as small a number of hours without being able to touch down or rest as possible over the water. But but you get to the threshold just fine.
Kind of putting along. Yep. We'll land. Head into the order area.
And you are recognized well enough. You're greeted, brought inside. This time, you actually run into Tokani in the hallways, and she just stops, takes a look, folds her arms. All right, what is it this time?
Hey, bestie.
Balcony, it's a pleasure to see you.
Don't
again.
call me that. And thanks. Yeah, thanks. She looks a little awkward. So, what is it this time again?
Well, I did want to come say hi, but we have some concerns to run by your grandfather, and maybe just other information people here.
Okay. Pretty sure I can get you in touch with Grandpa.
It's a weird topic, and it's just better to explain and ask about in person.
All right, fine. Follow me. She kind of wheels around on her heel and stalks off down the hallways, just assuming that you follow.
Thank you.
Actually leads you up some stairs instead of down. And this time it seems that Claddy is not at the moment inside of that almost basement style room. Instead, he's up on an upper story in a what looks like a large chamber for some sort of meditation. There's a small fountain trickling water out of the wall into a stone basin. A variety of plants in various pots and long boxes. And he's sitting on a cushion next to a little bit of incense with very light scent filling the air. He looks up when you enter. He seems to have been writing something at the time. Oh, visitors! I wasn't expecting you. Sets his, closes his folio that he was writing in, sets it aside, kind of cleans off the quill. Come in. Have yourself a seat. I think there are some benches, stools you could. Oh, there they are. Thank you, Tokani. And as she goes over and pulls out a couple of stools from between some of the plants, sets them down in front of where Claddy is currently sitting. He sets aside his tools, fully cleaned, his ink well corked. I assume that you came for a reason, so what can I help you with?
We have a odd situation we'd like some perhaps insight into, even if it's not something you're familiar with. Maybe someone else here could know, but imagine you're the first person we go to for this.
Very well, go ahead.
So she kind of like looks to Calder if Calder wants to start.
So, long story short, my daughter's been in the Feywild for the material plane 3 years, a few months in Feywild time, and she had been visited, and I thought it was just me losing memories, but apparently there's someone who looks almost exactly like me, just having a different hairstyle and different armor, and she's on the material plane.
You see Claddy's eyebrows shoot straight up, almost into his hairline. In the material plane.
Yeah.
Are you quite certain of that?
Yeah, plate armor, hair's a bit
Originally in the
more-
Feywild, but got banished by a powerful Fey being after she tried to attack.
In the material, that's not possible, says Tokani, and Claddy sends her a quick glance. She shuts her mouth.
Are you setting us up to fight doppelgangers of ourselves that are doing the current shrines before us?
No, the thing is, are you quite certain a doppelganger in the material?
Yeah, she got banished there.
She was
She got
origin-
banished here.
Oh,
She was originally in the
banished-
Feywild.
banished from the Feywild.
Yeah.
How do you... Did you see her in the material? How do
We
you
saw
know?
her in the
We
Feywild.
have, to be fair, we have the word of a Fey being. Are you familiar with Tiernan Gold Antlers?
Not personally, no.
More of a patron of sorts. lost. I'm not sure.
So this Tiernan
Hmm.
banished this lookalike
Hmm.
and said that he banished the lookalike to the material plane.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing to worry about then.
Why?
Because that one originates from a different material plane.
Well, you're quicker than I thought you were.
Are you saying?
I'm thinking the threshold theme is going a lot deeper than we think here.
I was going to tell all of the group together about this after you'd completed the last shrine, or ran out of time. Frankly, I'd rather have the whole group here regardless, so I don't have to explain it twice or risk an explanation being summarized.
We're willing to have people brought here if this is pertinent information. I'd also ask why this wasn't brought up before.
Bit of an insane thing, isn't it? Multiple versions of one place.
Are they the negative aspects? Which side are we?
Ah,
We're the positives?
that is that is rather the wrong question. Or rather, it's a question that assumes things that are incorrect.
Two sides of the same coin.
A bit closer, but only if both sides are both heads or both tails, and are both simultaneously one and the other.
Then what's the difference? There has to be one,
Small.
otherwise there would be nothing.
Small,
No.
subtle differences. The difference is in the individual. Let me put it this way. A farmer lives his whole life in a little village. He lives an ordinary life, neither good nor evil. Chances are, there's another farmer in another material who also lives a decent life in a little village, neither good nor evil. Just the same. Maybe little differences here or there, but on the whole and the balance of things, neither one swaying one way or the other. And then there's the mighty hero, the sorcerer, the druid, the wizard, the paladin. Call it what you will. Who does sway things. And perhaps they too live their lives in a neutral way. Perhaps their counterpart doesn't. Perhaps when one sways one way, the other is likelier and likelier to sway the other.
More weight on the scales, as it were.
Mm. There are rare possibilities where both sides do good or both sides do evil, but very, very rare. Usually, it's either one side swings one way and the other remains neutral, or they swing to opposites.
That's how you knew to find us.
Yes.
You just looked at the faces of the ones on the other end.
Well, we didn't see them directly, but we received reports, and
From you. Alright,
well,
then what
no,
about you?
Actually, funny thing. Dragons and certain other non-humanoid creatures have no counterparts. At least, not in the same way.
Maybe.
But yes, there are counterparts in the sense of we each head our current factions, and oh goodness.
And this is the place on the threshold, is it?
Yes, the one place that can be crossed. And most reliably, this is the 1 year when it's easiest to cross. Which is why we have been concerned by the individuals on the other side and their actions. Especially once they lured out what you might call my counterpart and slew him.
happens if... I'm guessing clearly that one on the one side being gone doesn't mean much for the other.
Well, no, that your life isn't tied together by any means. At least not beyond the tendency of weight.
So... And it's only the material.
Yes. There is only one Feywild, only one Shadowfell, only one set of elemental planes. Technically, it's possible to meet somebody from the other material on one of those planes, and you may never know unless, well, your very particular and very unusual situation comes up.
May you recognize.
On the other hand, if you take a visit to one of those planes and come back, there is no risk, nor even any possibility of going to the wrong version, as it were.
Ever?
Ever. It's not possible. Anybody
Except for
who
this year.
is... Anybody... No, not even now. I guarantee you, if your other Kalda could have come through the Feywild into our world, as they are so clearly keen on doing, she would have.
What if one of them was dead?
Doesn't
What
matter.
if one
doesn't matter.
person on this material's dead and they...
No, doesn't matter. You are tied to the version that you are born on.
And that's why the other one was
It's-
having trouble.
Trouble.
Yeah.
The other one was
Yeah.
trying to bring her daughter back.
Ah, yes, I can see why that would be a spot of bother.
The other one probably
Yes.
thought that that one was hers and not yours.
Yeah, I was worried. I thought maybe that wasn't my rose, but it wasn't. It wasn't hers.
And we're to understand that, outside of her concern or want or whatever for her daughter, these people are not good.
You hear Tokeni growl softly behind you. She's standing with her arms crossed, her shoulders hunched. They killed Endelesu.
Is that the other one? Your counterpart equivalent? For at least the
In a
position of
sense.
threshold?
For the position. Much younger, tragically. Adult, but he had not yet grown to any kind of status like I have.
Adult dragon.
Yes, and his young heir is but a wormling. Now, the keepers of the balance on that side have been trying to hold the fort against that attack. Trying to hold out for when you are prepared.
And what happens then? We're off to go kill
Well,
ourselves?
Well, if they've broken through into this world by then and successfully mounted an incursion, then I imagine it would be a matter of defense. But on the other hand, he fixes you a bit of a look. You can't think that this is the first and only time we've been forced to take such measures. There have been others in the past who have gone to the shrines, and very often they've become legends, whether in this world or that. And they become legends because we only send them when an evil is growing too great and threatening to consume everything. This one is set to consume both worlds, and I'm not sure what is motivating them, what is driving them, but they are utilizing a power that seems beyond just an ordinary group of people, even empowered by the shrines. There might be something more behind them.
What are the
That
shrines?
is my greater concern.
They have equivalents clearly in other planes.
Pools of power that stretch between worlds. Transport isn't possible between them, really. That's not their purpose, but
But if we were to take the power from ours, is that anything on their end?
no. It's a separate pool on each end. It's more... Imagine a depression in the ground, and how water flows downwards into it and fills it. That's what the shrines are on a magical level.
just happens to be one of each on all planes.
It is how the gods intended. They created this. They set it into motion so that they could see their goals and their desires play out, but have some level of assurance that they needn't put their own hands or see the hands of others opposed to them
Built-in
directly
redundancy.
creating works. Have you ever heard a tale of the beginning,
She nods
the creation?
as I go pull up the doc.
Many such tales, their various versions, will mention the gods agreeing that good, evil, neutrality must be in some measure of balance, and that they should not meddle so directly as once they did, so that the worlds would rise and tip and fall again in accordance with each other. But sometimes mortals, the free will, can push that balance further than it was ever meant to go.
It gets messy. Huh?
Yes. It's meant to remain each on its own plane, but its own version of the plane, rather. But
They still
sometimes
exist.
things cross over, sometimes things threaten to cross over, and whenever that occurs, we have to step in. We have to either push back or cross preemptively.
So why does it have to be us then?
Oh, it doesn't. If you say so, you could walk away now.
But
But-
the other side is still me.
The other side is still moving, and any substitute movement we would make might be too little too late.
But why is your priority then us? Why send for us? Why try?
Because those with the best chance of matching them in might would be them.
The ones who
otherwise.
are weighted on the other end of the scale.
At least that is the thought and that is the philosophy that has served us well through the eras.
It seems mine as well. Has there ever been a time where how many times more has the good become an issue than the evil?
The good tends not to attempt incursions into other realms, but
Tends to.
before the beginning of the First Era, the original Keepers of Balance across both worlds sought to control the balance more finely. Imagine what you would do if you knew that on one side of that coin stood somebody who rose or fell, however you may look at it, to evil-based deeds. How simple would it seem to look on the other side, find their counterpart, and
Not allow them the chance to make the misdeed.
that too, yes. Or on the other side, more terrible, perhaps, seeing someone rise to the rank of a hero, to a mindset and a position and a power to do great good. Imagine finding their counterpart that potentially somebody living a simple life, somebody who went out and did adventures but clung to neutrality so far and assumed that so far would not hold. Before the First Era, methods were at times brutal. And that is why on this side the Keepers fell, on the other side they were reformed from within and kept their name. Sister organizations. We don't cross directly except in times of great need. We try not to
Contact
meddle.
each other.
Of course. You've met a couple already. You see, there's a tradition, due to the duplicate faces, of crossing over and bringing with you a mask.
Ah, that's that. And she kind of like turns back. And Tokuni,
She kind of. What?
are you from here or there?
From here.
Hmm.
That's how that works. Like, I don't cross over there, and Delesu didn't really cross over here. We talked through the connections, but
I was just making
Yeah.
sure that your moving in with your grandfather wasn't a more multiplanar excursion.
no, it wasn't.
Is there a proper name for this other material?
We just kind of call it the mirror, and they call us the mirror. It's mutual.
Is it? Am I left-handed in that one? Is that a thing?
No. Well, you could be, but it's not as simple and straightforward and
East does
cut
not
and dried
become
as
west. Okay.
that. No. But occasionally you might find that
Things
places have
vary.
slightly different names, and perhaps there is a castle here that doesn't exist there, or the like.
I get it. Do you know what I look like? Am I all white?
Tokeny starts laughing. Nope. I've never seen the other you exactly, but I got reports.
Is that why you
I
don't
thought-
like me right away?
Let's just say that when you get reports and you see, let's say, an illusion, an image of someone, and you're told that that someone,
Did I do the deed?
I don't know who actually did the last blow. They were all involved.
All at once. Of course.
They set a trap. They brought other forces. Basically, they took him apart. He was a good friend.
I'll have fun kicking my own ass.
That'll be great.
Anyone who kills a dragon deserves it. Well, with that little chestnut,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what about
And
other gods and patrons?
the same. They occupy spaces outside and beyond the material planes.
Do
in
you know if they
general.
have a tendency to give gifts to both of their potential patrons?
It depends on the patron, really, and the god.
Lars has something to ask Xanthus then.
Not really.
Out of sorry, go ahead.
I would say at a guess that most of them would not be choosy or favor one over the other when the differences are, once you get to that level of being almost purely coincidental. And petty.
Hmm.
You had another question though.
Damn it, I had it for a second, now I lost it. Shit. Damn it. Yeah, do you have anything called to... Well, I tried to cover
Not
it.
really. Calder's like jaws just like half on the floor at this point.
Well, we
I
got
think
the
you just
answer.
blew all of our metaphysical minds.
Yeah.
My god, I didn't expect you guys to get this so early.
Hey, this is the character I've made.
Yep. Yep.
God, she's gonna be a huge bitch when we meet her.
Oh god, the whole time you guys are talking about what if there's other versions of us, I'm sitting here cackling.
Yep, there was
course
what
you
it
are.
was.
But yeah,
Rick.
Yep.
more
Yeah,
questions. Any more questions for
Alright.
Claudia and Tokeny while you have them?
There was one. Oh, yes, alright. It might be a little off tangent, but it was another thing I was wondering about.
Mhm.
First of all, you're an old dragon. Did you-
Well, not to brag, but
Yeah, I guess that would be a bragging point for your types, isn't it?
Hmm.
Have you had much experience with Phaestron?
Vastrin. I've heard of him, but well, no direct experience. I was born during his rule, but of course that was birth. I was just a wormling, and
You were a cute little dragon puppet once.
of course, everybody's a cute little dragon puppet once.
Are there any paintings?
I should say not.
You should.
Actually, I became head of the order near the end of his career, and
But you haven't had much.
no, we didn't associate. I did know the adventurer that helped to slay him, though.
Oh?
Hmm.
Should we be looking out for that one?
No, she died.
Ours died.
Oh, she died some less than 100 years into the beginning of the Third Era. Old age, mortals. Not all of them live so long.
Okay, other thing then. Alien Stormgust.
Ah, that would be the one.
Really?
There's a reason there are so many tales about her. Ones who visit shrines do tend to climb to higher ranks of power than others.
Then she pulls out the skull. I think this was hers at one point. Say hello.
Hello! What is this?
This is York, so I've taken to calling. We
And
came
and what
across
was-
it in the magical kind of stockhold of an old green dragon cult. The one that is currently had a small little bit based underneath where my aunt is stationed in the outpost near Poke.
very interesting.
And claims knowledge and memory of the earliest being of one Stormgust.
Ah. May I? He holds out a hand.
By all
for the
means.
skull.
I've been curious about this little guy for a long time.
Yep. You set York down in his hand. He peers closely.
He likes riddles.
Hey, you're old! How long is that beard? Do you ever trip on it? He's kind of tilting it around. Impertinent little thing. Turns it to face away, and you see him cast a quick spell. His eyebrows slightly raise. There is a certain magic and intelligence, a deep enchantment of almost sentience. Such things are difficult to manage, and I hadn't known that Eileen had done such a thing.
Apparently he was in a box for a while.
Hmm.
And then he was in the horde of Vaestrin at a point.
Huh. Well, Vaestrin, from what I understand, did have a knack for magical objects, and his followers had something of a knack of making stockpiles for what they called his inevitable return.
Does Vaestrin have an equivalent on the other side?
I told you dragons don't have equivalents, at least
Right.
not in this usual way. But I have no doubt that somewhere out there was some dragon wreaking havoc, as he may wish, or ruling over mortals in the same
Ail-
vein.
Aileen's equivalent. Was
Yes,
this the shadow she was chasing?
it was.
Hmm.
The mirror Eileen of the other world, much like these ones now, sought power, sought control, sought conquest of worlds and of planes, and once she found all the shrines there due to the Keepers of Balance keeping that knowledge rather than letting it be forgotten, she drank them all dry and then sought at one point to cross over here to take them from our world as well.
So was she the last incident of this nature?
The most recent, yes. Last era.
Necromancy exists on the other side too, yes.
Of course. All
Just
magics,
wondering.
but we're quite sure that she didn't survive the battle. There was nothing left to bring back, and well, it was rather more on this side than that. But
I'm
quite a
looking-
bit through our connected planes as well. The elementals, the Feywild, the Shadowfell. Our Eileen had to track the other through several. And was pursued at one point in the same manner. It was all a bit cat and mouse for a while.
This is odd, and this is a lot.
Yeah.
Ariel, I think you need to give our brains a break.
Yes, well, you can stay for the night if it helps, and
I think that might.
yes. Ask more questions tomorrow, or if you must leave and come back with the others of your group, please do so.
I would
As I said,
prefer
I'd-
it's right from your mouth.
I would very much prefer to give it to them straight from my mouth as well, rather than risk things being muddled and concepts being accidentally misspoken. I have enough trouble as it is.
I have a question.
By all means.
Where's your mail room? I need to not send a letter that came yesterday.
It may have already been sent.
Damn
But
it.
straight up the stairs and go ahead and ask. You'll notice the scent before anything else.
Ugh, appreciate it, thank you.
You'll run up there and go ahead and roll a d20 for luck.
Uh-oh. Yeah, because God's like, fuck. I found out some shit. D20.
Yep,
Natural
D20.
20.
You get up there and the letter is on top of a pile. You're able to talk the keeper into, yes, it's you. Yes, that's your letter. Yes, you need to not send it. And you're able to grab it. And you have the letter in hand. It is not sent.
Stuff it in my pocket and run right back down.
Yep. You lucky
Thank
halfling.
you.
In that little intermedium, she's also just kind of leans back, just. I'm almost surprised at how quickly I'm taking to this idea. There seems to be a lot of things that have been suggesting it in existence.
Tokeny says, or you're just in shock and your brain is shut down. It feels about the same.
She turns. I have no such idea of the feeling.
And you wouldn't recognize it, would you?
And she smiles. Well, now that I'm aware of things more. I'm sorry if I was a bit hard on you for your initial outlook on me.
Tokeny kind of looks away. Yeah, well, like Grandpa said, I probably shouldn't have assumed that you'd be just the same as the other one. Even if it's possible, technically, and even if you are kind of creepy,
She kind of like turns the chair around and like looks like points towards Tokeny. You have it on my word that I'll do everything to stop her and the rest of them.
Dokeny's face goes very serious. I'll take that word. You'd better not break it,
She puts her hand out.
or I swear no amount of cold resistance is gonna stop me. She puts her hand out and takes yours and gives it a clasp and a shake.
I'd appreciate if you held me to that.
All right. And Claddy kind of puts his hands together and says, "There is a thought.
Hmm?
Technically, I do have access to a particular spell. I can explain things to the others, but only once they've gone to sleep for the night. And
Oh.
hopefully it won't take too long."
Oh, I think doesn't Nevi have that? No, those dream druids don't get that. That's the worst.
Yep. Dream druids don't get dreams.
Does Nevi have it?
Nevi does not have it.
Okay.
And besides which, Claddy just said from his own mouth.
Yep.
Tonight, I'll see about getting in contact with the other two and getting them caught up to speed.
If you ever have I don't know, a spare spell kicking around at the end of a day before your rest, don't be afraid to send that kind of thing my way. I'm sure I can always think of something to ask you.
Well,
She gives like a smile, like a sly smile. Come on.
I hadn't wanted to intrude or bother, but
No
I'll
such
keep that
thing,
in mind.
dear. If you're dropping truth bombs on like this on me, I'll be happy to receive any calls.
I wasn't planning on this particular truth bomb until you were in a better position to receive it, potentially.
She tilts her head. You thought I would be patient on receiving information?
I wasn't so concerned with whether or not you would be patient.
Well, I'll find my way into it anyhow. Is there anything else that you'd like to drop on us? Is there some great god that group is serving that we should be aware of?
None that we know of.
None of the creators have decided, you know what, I don't feel like balance anymore? Kind of going against the flow?
If they have, then they haven't told us. Very inconsiderate of them if that's the case.
Back up a second, excuse me?
I was joking.
Okay, no, you don't get to tell me stuff like this and then joke about stuff like that.
Fuck you.
That's precisely what I get to do.
You just told an ancient god how to have a sense of humor. Fuck you.
Ancient dragon.
Sorry, ancient dragons. What I meant to say.
June, have you ever talked personally to one of the creator gods?
Well, that's for me to know and you to guess at.
Look, I've talked with a small-time one, and he doesn't even return my calls anymore.
Put another way, many people talk to the gods. The ones you want to look out for are the ones who the gods talk back to.
I want to be that kind of one. If they're concerned with balance, I would think they would have vested interest in us.
Most of the major ones try not to interfere too directly. At least not in that matter. Little nudges here and there, yes, that's all well and good and in the spirit of the thing. But the moment the gods start to brawl over the plains themselves will be lost, and the gods all know that, and, well, far be it from me to assume the motives of a god, but I would say that they probably wouldn't look forward to the cleanup that would inevitably result.
Then they'd have to do it all over again, wouldn't they?
No, precisely. Much more work that way.
Then they'd have to work together again.
That too. Very likely something they wouldn't desire.
And she kind of like looks at the ceiling. You hear that? If anyone wants to give a chat to me, any ancient knowledge, save yourself some work in the future.
He gives you a bit of a sharp look. And be careful calling out to the void. You never know what voice may call back.
All right. Any more existential issues you want to give us?
She just kind of breathes out and it's like, I'll take
Yeah.
whatever. I'll take what I can get. If I can ask it a question, I'll be happy to give it a chat.
Another thing to be careful of. But I suppose that is your prerogative, and you have Tokeni's agreement and your word to think about.
I'm not selling a soul to a devil, if that's what you're implying.
There are things worse than devils.
I didn't do the Fae either.
And worse than them.
Do you want my soul, Gladdy?
Oh, what would I ever do with that thing?
What
Oh.
do they do with souls?
I assume
Oh,
I
Sure.
usually eat them.
Oh, not fun.
So would Alsana's soul be like beef jerky in that case?
yours would be like squid spaghetti.
So would an elf
Yes.
not reincarnate after they made a pact like that?
Typically, yeah. Depending which lore you go by.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alright.
Nobody has ever actually tested it, as far as I know.
Alright.
Or at least nobody's come back to report as such, but with souls and memories and rebirth, it's all very muddled anyway.
And now, okay, I guess one last thing. Our equivalents. Are they at least in the... It seemed Caldo was in the similar wheelhouse as her current part. Does Kane still swing a sword? Do I still do nature magic? Do I still shoot a crossbow?
Mm.
Again, there's variety, variance, there's changes, but it's more unusual to see one swinging a sword on one side and casting spells on the other. In all likelihood, you're probably going to see similar abilities. We don't have a full and complete report of the attack, but the aftermath showed both martial and arcane, and even divine magic. But they were not working alone. They had followers, forces working with them, things to avoid.
Hordes
If
for us to cut
possible.
through to get to them.
Avoidance would be preferable. You don't know why those people are following them, if it's coin or sweet promises or greed.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind too. And she just kind of like
With-
leans back.
With that, I will have somebody prepare you rooms for the night,
That would be very
and
appreciated.
I will go prepare to spread the word in what's going to be a very strange set of dreams to Kane and Alaris both.
Huh.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Togani, are you busy in the next hour?
Why?
Do you want to spar?
Okay, fine. Come on,
And
let's see what you're made of now.
I won't hit you with too much magic.
Oh, so you're gonna handicap yourself and lose. Great to know.
Better to handicap you for ever.
Yeah, that needs some work.
Mm.
Let's go.
Alright.
You head off to Spar. You get rooms for the night. Kane and Alaris, you get individually some very unusual dream visit with some very interesting information, basically prefaced with Alsana came to visit and figured this out. Time to get you up to speed as well.
Kane wakes up in an existential crisis, so that's fun.
I like to
So,
imagine like Kane and Alaris are in the same room in an inn and they both just like shoot like ah and then they turn to each other ah.
I like to imagine it's they both wake up with just the most like dead look on their face and just look at each other like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Just like oh you too. Oh it wasn't just a dream. Oh god.
And Kane turns to Alaris and goes, fuck, I told you there was another you.
All right. And unfortunately, that's probably where we're gonna have to call it. It's getting kind of late.
Yep.
Yes.
So
But I was not.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
you cracked open a
Sorry.
big bin of backstory that I was saving, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, time to start shoveling this out one handful at a time. Let's go.
We found the
opened a-
worms.
Alsana
You
was
opened a whole
spinning that
barrel of
pickaxe.
worms.
Oh, I knew the moment you were gonna go to them with this whole, we ran into a call to doppelganger in the Feywild, and also it's now in the material, they would give something away because you just said something that should not be possible and was something they were trying to prevent.
Hmm.
I'm sending every possible question their way from now on.
Maybe
Um,
like they're a good resource to have around. Just maybe.
That's why Alsana's like, hey, if you got an extra dream spell, just don't be afraid to check in on me. It's
Asshole.
always stuff we'd like to run by you in your ancient knowledge.
Oh, where's the fun in that? All right.
Knowledge! Knowledge is great!
It's fun
So-
being naive and paranoid for a few weeks, right,
Mm.
guys?
Yeah. Oh
I have a
god.
headache.
Oh man. Right. We'll take care of what follows, and you guys checking out Long Lake next time.
Oh god, we all have
Um,
doppelgangers.
And we're gonna see if we can get the shrine in next time as well. I'd like to do that before breaking for like end of year holidays and stuff. I
Also,
just want to see if it's possible.
Yeah, just as a pre-warning too, on their way to Soren, Alsana will make a quick stop in the by the shrine in the Sorenwood.
Okay. Yeah.
Or actually no, we'd have to go through there from Soren to Long Lake anyways, right?
You wouldn't have to, but you could.
Okay. Well then, yeah, we'll go to Soren, but basically Alsana wants to stop by her bee druid.
Okay. Kane, you have a lovely day out with Eloise for the Day of Splendor.
Was the existential crisis before or after the Day of Splendor?
It was before.
Oh,
It
God.
was the morning of the 10th day of the month of Glorious. The Day of Splendor is the 11th.
Oh.
So you guys were just outside of Soren, or perhaps you had just arrived and you had an inn for the night.
One last thing.
Hmm
At a point, maybe after the sparring session,
Yeah.
Alsana will just go, so, you busy on the Day of Splendor? Completely straight-faced.
You get a question
course
mark
they
and a Y.
Just curious.
Let's see. Because I don't know her daily schedule. She's not busy.
What, you don't know the daily schedule of every character you play, Ariel?
Mm.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, I'm an utter failure as a DM. So, what does Alsana ask?
That hurt me to
just so
hear
we can
you
get it out of the.
Goodness.
There was sarcasm. There's clear sarcasm in there.
I know, but I still feel guilty, damn.
Oh no!
Okay, so,
Why am I doing that?
so I assume we're not leaving
Yeah.
on the Day of Splendor for Kane's reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
You
we,
guys have a day there.
yep, so,
Kate plans to spend at least the day there.
alright.
And also potentially bring her to the Long Lake, depending how dangerous it seems.
Alsana wouldn't recommend it, but, yeah, then...
Oh, she's a researcher, it's up to her.
Then yeah, Alsana might just kind of like get Tokuni out of the threshold for a day.
All right. Probably.
Because it seems like she doesn't really go anywhere or do much from what she's seen so far.
You haven't seen everything so far.
She has not seen everything so far, but the only time she's seen her, she's been in threshold. So she's taking her out. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
She's not asking her on a
So-
date. She's taking her out.
There's a friend outing.
Yes.
Okay. So friend outings and date outings both happen.
Mhm.
And we'll pick up next week, next time, whatever it needs to be for people to be here. With you guys taking a little visit down to Long Lake. Okay? Sound good?
Existential crisis freshly in the back of our heads.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All right.
On this
Alright.
note, I will be most likely late to next session. I'll see how well I can do. But
Talk
thanks,
about it
everyone.
later. Goodbye.
Yep.
Goodbye. Recording.
Bye.